Welcome to episode 30 of On the Rocks. It's your boy Marcellus Wiley. That dude, if I sound compromised, it's called Cigars and Liquor. Boy, I went hard. Went to Anthony Anderson's golf tournament, and I saw a dude who sound like this for real, who sound like this all the time. It's the ruler.
Doc Rivers.
Ja Rule. Well, the Doc Rivers too. Doc Rivers was there, but I ain't see him. I didn't see Doc. I did see Ja Rule. Your smile. I had a moment, dog. I walked in. They had a little after party for. Hey, why would we say little? This house was huge. All right, so it was a big after party. Not too many people there. And as soon as I walk in, Anthony Anderson was doing karaoke. So then he was like, Marcellus, come on. And I was like, damn, I hate karaoke. Like, truly hate it. I think it's corny. I think it's like, why are we all gathering around sing somebody else's song? Why don't we just put it on and go to the club? You know what I mean?
Are you supposed to act like you know how to sing in karaoke, or are you supposed to make fun of it?
Yeah.
That's what I can't figure out.
I think it's more fun when you act like you don't know it or you kill it. Like, they like, damn, you sound better than Aretha. Like, you know what I mean? I guess. So I'm sitting there like, I hate doing this, but I didn't want his party to be kind of whack or I'm put on the spot, look weak. So I end up doing it. But while I'm doing it, and I start doing, same old Compton in the House. I did Boy in the Hood. I did Gangsta. They like, fuck, this is not karaoke. This is in the basement.
Put the mic down and dance.
Yeah, right. It's Big Tigger or something, right? So then I'm doing Yo MTV Raps and everybody looking at me like whatever. But then guess who I see? I peek in the corner and Ja Rule right there. And I don't know about y'all, but I give people their flowers. So I'm like, damn, I'm doing karaoke in front of Ja Rule. Like, I'm about to go get one of them songs, but I ain't do it. I couldn't find no Ashanti in there. Not a lot of black women in there. But it was a good time.
You saving it for the Fire Festival.
Dog, don't do that. You a hater. You're a hater. He had a blemish. It sounded good on concept. You know about the Fire Festival?
What's the Fire Festival?
Oh, boy. No, it's nothing, actually.
Right.
It was supposed to be.
Oh, the one from years ago. The private island and people showed up, nothing happened. Yeah.
They got bologna sandwiches.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Somebody went to jail over that shit, too.
That's true.
Yeah, the founder there.
Yeah. I guess you got to land that plane somehow, right?
Right.
Like, fuck it. Like, all right, I had caviar on the menu, but this spam don't work.
Here's some bologna.
I mean, that was wild. So other than that, man, golf tournament, I didn't golf because my daughter started wheezing, her asthma started acting up. Araya got everything. Like, she's asthmatic. She's allergic to a lot of things. But she's also She-Ra. Like, she has the densest muscle fibers I've ever felt on her. I'm like, she gonna be gigantically strong. She built like this. She looked like Amari Stoudemire when she be getting dressed in the morning. I'm like, God dang, she look like she got wings. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not lying. She a lab rat, dog. I'm like, I love it. But her ass was sick, so I had to come home quick. And same old, man.
What course was it?
God, what's that called? I was just there. It's one word. And it's really fresh, and I have to look it up. Why you put me on the spot? I don't know.
You were there.
I know. I told you, liquor and cigars. What's the name of that course? Let me look right now. Why, you play there a lot?
I don't know. We don't know what course.
Where are we talking about?
You don't play in Palm Springs?
Did y'all play a full
Oh,
game?
it was in Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No?
PGA.
No,
They
got
Indian
several.
Wells, right? Indian Wells?
Do you play golf?
No, I didn't play Indian Wells.
I used to play a lot. I don't play that much.
Why you
now.
don't play no more? What happened to golf?
You know what? I get addicted to sports, and I get obsessive over it. And that's kind of like what happened with tennis. Once I started, I just had this drive to get great at it. And golf takes up so much time, and it needs so much practice. And I got to a point where, okay, if I'm going to consistently break 90, I would have to get in and work on that short game constantly. And I didn't, the kids were at a certain age. I didn't want to be taking that much time out and practicing on the course.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's the most unfaithful woman you ever can meet. Like, no matter what, every stroke gonna be different, every shot gonna be different, and she ain't gonna never, ever give you exactly what you want. Like, it's just like, ever. Like, I swear, even Tiger Woods, he had to be like this. What's about to happen? Oh, okay, that's good. Like, there's a moment in there
of uncertainty.
It has to be. Because when it does this, you can say, I'm going to fix it, but why did it happen in the first place? Yeah. So there's an uncertainty to every stroke. Football has a little of that. Like, you may close your eyes, you may blink. Like, you know you're about to hit them, but there's a moment where Barry Sanders could be like, no, you're not, or, or something like that. But Golf to me has the longest window of uncertainty in every moment. It's wild.
Yep. And if you're even just a little bit off, that ball is not going where you want it.
My shot used to hook to the right every time, no matter how hard I was trying. It would always go. Then and then I would always. Then I got it at one point, and I was like, all right. And then it just went right. It started back again. I'm like,
using the driver, stick to the 7-iron.
Well, no, this is when I'm driving. I'm specific like on the drive, and like I couldn't figure it out.
Nah.
People were like, oh, you gotta do this, and then I would do it, and it would still go. So
my problem was just the opposite because of tennis. You hit the tennis ball like this, right? So my hands, that's from your hands coming through too slowly. My hands would come through too fast and duck. My problem would be a duck hook as opposed to a slice.
I used to play golf like a ton. Like my first sport ever is golf. So I'm 5 years old. Got a little three club set. You know, I got the putter, I got the pitching wedge, and then I got a driver, right? You know, that little kid. And I had that, and I was so pumped. I used to go to the Rancho Park right there in like West LA-ish world, Rancho. I had a real like civil rights moment that changed my mindset on sports and race at the same time. I'm like 5, 6 years old, and I'm playing. And I don't know how y'all grew up, but I didn't look at people like what color they were. I don't know what age I finally start realizing, damn, there's a lot of black people around me. Like, you know, before I just thought this was, right? And then I knew there was this other world out there, but I wasn't exposed to it. So I just thought it was black people everywhere, right? So then when I went golfing, that was the first time I kind of was like, something ain't right. Something look different, right? And you looking around, whatever. Everybody treats you nice. Everybody cool to me, whatever. But I was just like, damn, it look a little different, whatever. And then I remember hitting this putt forever. My dad used to putt for real, and I'm putting for fake. So like the whole way over there on the putting green, I'm like, yo, doing this shit. And he looking at me like, this boy. But when people showed up, he kind of like, chill, dog. Like, you know, you representing. And I hit it like a 40-footer. And I start running around, screaming, yelling, like normal sports. Like, yeah. Because I see all these old people missing these 2-footers. So I'm like, y'all sorry. And then my dad looked at me, and he was like, and I looked at everybody else, and they looked at me, and then I looked back at my dad, and he was like, And that was the first time I was like, there must be some kind of like culture or something. There's something deeper than just making this, right? And Smokey Robinson was there. This is all I remember. My dad, Calvin Pete, and Smokey Robinson, because my dad was so proud. He's like, look, we're out here too. And right then I was like, yeah, I'm going to play golf, but I ain't going to be playing a lot of golf because I can't even let it out. Like, I got to fuck that. Shit was just too tense.
You saw Calvin Pete play?
Calvin Pete was out there.
That's amazing.
I know. I didn't know what it meant at that time. I was like, oh, who's that guy? And then it was Calvin Pete.
Yeah, but it's not like that anymore. The whole got to be quiet. There's that conduct. You got to, even with tennis, it used to be like that. You can't make a single sound if you're in the stands. But now everyone's cheering, hollering.
Everyone is loose. I don't know.
I mean, you still got to be quiet right when the point starts.
Yeah.
But it's a lot more, it's rowdier now. The fans are more engaged.
What are you talking about? The waste management? I don't know any other tournament. Like, it's a decorum to golf. I think if you're practicing, I mean, Top Golf may make you think that, but you take your ass to a real course, they like, yeah, you go to LACC, they like, please stop playing with me. But you go to Braemar, you know, you can have your speaker on, you're right, on your golf cart. You could go roll around and just hang out. It's a little more flavor in there, but it's still, sir, can you tuck your shirt in your pants? And
there's still that?
Oh, yeah. They ain't letting that go.
That to you at the golf course?
Hats off, cell phone, none of that.
You can't wear hats at a golf course in that heat?
Some of them.
Wow.
Not indoor. So when you walking in, they be like, they'll be like, yeah, what's up? Like,
they don't want you on your phone.
They don't want you on your phone.
Really?
Yeah, it's real stuff.
Dress code, like tennis, you could only wear white at one point. Like when I played on a tennis team, you had to wear all white. You couldn't wear any other color but white. I don't know if golf is still like
I wonder why white. Let me stop.
We're going there, huh?
Which color should we make them all wear? You know what I'm saying? So it's wild like that. Who we got right here?
UGK in the house, representing the Left Coast Legends again. There's something I got to tell Coach over here.
Uh-oh.
Coach, last episode you were talking about winning Worst Coach of the Year award, right?
Yeah.
We got to officially take that off of your wall over there. Here's why.
Oh, damn.
There's something you tell Nate, that's my son, every week. Nate, keep running. Stop pausing. You keep hesitating. Teammate looks at you, stop moving.
Yeah.
It finally clicked for him this weekend.
Oh, okay.
It's the first time where it was with Aiden, too, our quarterback. Aiden got the rebound. Nate took off for the other side. First one back, Aiden sees him, throws it like a football. What does Nate do? He keeps running.
He ran under
He
it, huh?
catches the ball. Easy layup.
Oh, snap.
Coach of the Year award right there. It didn't happen in football.
Thank you.
Happened in basketball.
I'm about to say.
He's running now. He's not pausing. He's running.
I would love to accept that award, except it didn't happen how I wanted it to happen. Like in basketball, he's like, oh, yeah, I can do all that. But no, that's dope. Yeah, it's weird. These kids don't understand it, and they're kids. That's why they don't understand it. But you got to conceptualize, like, you're lying to your quarterback or whoever's throwing the ball if you run or you jog and then you stop. And then he's like, dog, what
he's trying to lead
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
He's leading the ball to you.
Right. Like, it's that unspoken language that you're trying to create, which is the trust and the chemistry. And I used to always say it, I'm like, because he's athletic. And I'm like, but if you run and then you stop, and then you say, I'm open, I'm like, now you're not.
Right. Bingo.
So that's how that went.
So that's either humongous growth or mass confusion. Because that was a football. That was a football instruction.
No, that's Nate seeing Marcellus on the sideline. He's not even there. He's like, Coach is yelling at me to run.
Yeah.
Coach is yelling at me to run.
Yeah. I upped the ante. I became more asshole this year on purpose. Because I just remember being 9, knowing way more than the adults even thought I did, let alone my coach is expecting more. So our coach would not let us run the wrong play. He like, you run the wrong play, you over here until you figure this out. Like, so you couldn't lead a huddle without knowing. And I'm sure we made mistakes, but he just didn't let us think it's okay to make mistakes. And right now, I think generally speaking, unless you play in the super high level, there are a lot of coaches out there like, I'm just going to let him go because he's having fun. Like every parent lies. Oh, sports is supposed to be about fun. I'm like, no, it ain't. It's supposed to be like you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do as well as you can do it. And then that turns into fun because either you're doing it well or you're doing it your best. Even in a loss is fun because you're like, that's all I got. But they be trying to say, no, have fun. I'm like, that means you ain't committing. Like you just out here chilling. And I see it too often, man. I'm like, damn, these parents be letting these kids off the hook. Because at 9, I knew either I can lock in 38 toss or I could mess up and do 37 toss. Right. And it wasn't nothing else. So I'm kind of like trying to creep up the expectation level.
Those are the only 2 plays?
When I was growing up. We didn't throw the ball once. We didn't throw the ball at all. Coach was like,
Marcellus left. Marcellus right.
Fast guy, get ball, go. Right.
Now we're going to trick him. Go up the middle.
Just go. Just run. It's so crazy when you're young. Speed kills, especially at the lower levels, right? So, like, you can be insane. That's why I look at kids and their parents. I'm like, it's a marathon. Because that kid's just fast right now. Does he have skill? And et cetera. So, I was just fast. I just knew it. Like, you give me the ball, good cut, bad cut, I could recover. I could just erase it and then make some moves and get out of there. So, I couldn't do that this year because we sucked. But I tried. Who we got right here?
We got Chicago Southside Richie P. Oh. Welcome back. Episode 30. Yep.
Okay, you got a compliment earlier on your gear, your garb. He said his colors are coming together.
The color coordination is getting better.
Now, I don't know what puffy party you been to, but he ain't getting in because that ain't all white. tell him crispy.
It's cream.
It's cream and white.
I see where it was going with it.
It's a little better. It's getting better every show, though. I give you credit for that.
Hey, but you know what? That might be his thing. Some people intentionally don't match their colors.
That's real. I think that's flavor too.
That is. That's a lane.
But is there?
So I gave you an out, Richie. Claim that. There you go.
Yeah, that's it, Just. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right. Is there? But can you go too far, like orange and purple and green, like? Because I see that
For some
too.
people, the more outlandish they go, the more people like it.
The more people like
I think
it.
it just depends.
Russell Westbrook,
Yeah, that's real.
But you don't always have to match. Sometimes matching is too much.
That is.
Sometimes you intentionally don't want to match.
Yeah.
You got to coordinate.
Yeah.
You got mushrooms. You got mushrooms in this jacket.
You look like the uncle. You look like the mannequin. You
look like Trip.
You look like Trip. You look like you went to Oak Tree. I want that.
All of it.
All of it. And that's how I dress. That's why I know I can't dress.
Right.
Because if it doesn't look like an NFL team colors, like my color scheme, everything got to be blue, gray. Right? We're saying black, yellow. If I'm not wearing yellow and purple, Lakers. I ain't wearing that. I ain't wearing that. First of all, that's ugly. Laker uniforms are disgusting. If they were sorry, people would say that. But since they the Lakers, it ain't nothing fresh about purple and gold.
No, it's not.
I know.
It's not.
We used to play a little team called Hawthorne, and they were purple and gold. And before the game, we would say, y'all lost. What y'all wearing? And they were like, what? And we were like, ugh. And then we made them self-conscious of it. We were like, this is ugly. They trying to look like the Lakers out there. I'm like, this shit is that shirt right there. That's what I'm saying. Look at you right now.
Purple's a beautiful color. I just wanted to say it. Purple and gold is a little questionable, but the Lakers make it look good though.
That's what's key. That's what's key. That's like having money if you ugly. It's just like, what's the point?
Got money. You good.
I look better.
That's the best face cream ever. Money.
Oh, God. You got to stop watching them videos in the morning.
Cream on the nipples over here.
He be watching that 6'8" girl. He be in them doorways with that 6'8" girl. Letting it just whip.
Looking for my step stools. Oh, wait. Before I want to send a shout out.
Another person. You always shouting out some community member he knows.
Yeah.
Hell?
Young lady named Savannah King. She used to train with my daughter with track. Okay. She ran track, but she was a soccer star.
All right.
Went to North Carolina. Got drafted number 2 in the women's draft 2 years ago. So left and started playing pro soccer.
Oh, sick.
And she got traded to the soccer team here, the women's team here. And she had a cardiac event on the field like 2 weeks ago and collapsed. Now she's out the hospital.
Oh, there you go.
And I've known her mom and her uncles for 30 years.
Damn.
And I just want to send a shout out to her because she's doing better. She's going to play again. But Savvy King is her name.
Okay. So she had like a Bronny James moment, one of those?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Nothing scarier than that, huh?
It's happening way too often to like younger people.
Had to have heart surgery and the whole works. But
wow.
I think she's going to be all right.
Yeah. I had something. Because I remember my grandmother worked at the hospital, and I had asthma. And so they were like, you got to go get your physical. Went and got my physical, failed it. I was like, failed it? They was like, yeah, your asthma / you have a irregular heartbeat. And I'm like, I'm 7 or 8. And they were like, yeah, you have a irregular heartbeat. So I had to do a CO2 test. And, you know, all that. I'm looking like Rocky Drago and all that. I'm training like this in Compton at Dominguez Medical Center. And I'm like, failed again. I was like, oh, you kidding me? So they were like, you can't play sports. And I was like, So then my grandmother on the other side, super religified. And she had a sister named Ain't a Honey. I don't know how to spell it.
Like bitter honey. But it ain't.
I'm too young to know. You know what I'm saying? You just take it. Like,
wow.
What's your name? Ain't a Honey? All right, Ain't a Honey. She lives in Shreveport. Came out to L.A. just this random time and was at grandma's house. And we just talking about life and stuff, and it's the summer. And then he was like, yeah, he wants to play sports, but he can't and all that. She's like, what's wrong with that boy? I was like, he's like, got asthma and his heartbeat irregular stuff. She's like, ain't nothing wrong with that boy. He's 7 years old. Ain't nothing. She's like, come with me. Literally, grabbed her Bible, grabbed a hammer, and grabbed a nail. We went in the back between the different duplexes apartments, and it was a tree. She said, put your head in the back of that tree. And I put it like this, and she looked at me with a hammer and nail in the Bible. She started reading scripture, and I'm not into it. I'm just like, what's she doing? She weird. She can go back to Shreveport with this. And I'm looking, and then she gets the nail, puts it right over my head, and goes like this, all the way into the tree. She said, now go back to that doctor and see what happened. Y'all know I passed because I played football. I played ball. Passed after that, no lie. 2 fails. She did that, went back. He was like, I don't know what you did, but it works. You're good. So y'all don't believe? Do you? Wow. Isn't that wild?
Is that when you converted? Is that when you?
I think that had something to do with it. But no, it wasn't conscious. I didn't convert. I was just forced to go to church growing up. And then I got older, and then I got to college, and I was like, yo, something feels off. You know what I mean? I think a lot of religion is you just can't describe the inexplicable. Like, you're like, back in the days, somebody was like, yo, this feel weird. Like, I got some food, I got my woman, got little kids, but something is missing. So they was like, there's more. So for me, it was like everything was going well, but I was like, this ain't it. And then I was like, let me go back to my religious roots. So I got religified in college.
They can trace back the origins of religion from drawings on cave walls. Mm-hmm. And it's really they couldn't figure out things that were happening to the people who were around them.
Yep.
Somebody may go out to go hunt and gather, never come back,
Yep.
or get attacked, or whatever, natural occurrence.
Put your mom on the phone. Hey,
Right,
baby,
right.
I ain't
with
never coming home again.
with the weather. And they started drawing it on the wall.
Yeah.
And they can trace, completely the origins by the drawings on the wall.
Yeah. I always say that religion, for me, just explains life. And it explains it through spirit. It explains it through phenomena and dynamics that not are always articulated. Like, you just got to put it together. But it turned into, it got marketed, it got industrialized. It became way more than, no, it's supposed to actually fill in all of and complete the puzzle for who you are and what you are. So I use it like as a guidebook for life. Reading the whole Bible, it's nothing that ever has happened to me that either I didn't expect or when it happened, I wasn't able to rebound from because of religion. Like, if it was just left to my own vices, I would have been like, what the hell was that? But when you know religion, you know all the books, you just be like, oh, that's what happened then. That's what happened now, because there's nothing new under the sun. Yeah, it's dope. You religified?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So I was a lot when I was younger. My parents, took me to all of that, like a lot. I haven't gone really much as an adult, but I feel like when you go as a kid, it's kind of always like just in you.
It's in you.
And you still, even if you don't go, you kind of still move off of certain principles because those were instilled in you at it. Right? Yeah, like they were instilled at you at such a young age that certain things I'll do, I'll be like, I'm still like conscious of it. Even if I know I'm doing wrong. Yeah. It's still the thought. Yeah. Like, I shouldn't be doing this because of that.
Broke that commandment, damn it.
Yeah. Like I shouldn't be doing this, but here we are.
As an adult, you don't practice. I don't either. You said as an adult you don't practice religion anymore. But what about for your kids? Would you?
I just had my wife's niece and her husband was at my house yesterday, and we were literally just talking about that because he was like, I think I'm gonna start taking my kids to church because I just want to same conversation, like I want to instill these certain principles and morals in them. And I was like, I was just thinking about that the other day. Haven't done it, but it's a thought that I've lately been thinking about.
Yeah, them seeds getting planted.
You don't think you can plant those seeds without church?
No, I do, because I plant those seeds now, but I also try to look at it from both sides. So like my parents planted those seeds. As an adult, I just attribute that to my parents telling me certain things. Yeah. But how do I know that it wasn't necessarily just them, but it was me going there as well? Like kind of getting it from both sides. So right now I'm looking at it from one side. Like as a parent, you can tell them this, but I feel like you got to explore everything to kind of see, to confirm, like, is it just the parenting or did that actually play a role into it as well?
Mm-hmm. To me, it feels like if you go to, let's just say like you go to John Wooden's basketball camp, and that feels amazing because it's John Wooden. Like your parents is like John Wooden. They know game. They know how to help you and articulate it. But then what if you went to an NBA summer camp and all the coaches were there? You know what I mean? Like, religion is so vast with knowledge. Like your mom and daddy, I love them all, combined ain't gonna come close to half of what that Bible or whatever your holy book is gonna teach you. Because it's just grabbing stories from everywhere, all of them. And that collection, and I can't even recall half of them, but to your point, you just know you read it, you comprehended it at the time, you felt it, and when you touching that third rail, you're like, oh, that ain't it. So every time that something happens to me, I literally be like, it's in there. It told me not to do that. Like half our problems are liquor and girls, if not 90%, right? And it tells you better chill. You better, all right, I tried to tell you, get that girl and calm down, but you wanted to get another girl.
Is that from the Book of Monique?
That was the book of Quita.
You said something interesting, and I'm not trying to get super religious here, but one thing I have noticed is if you, regardless of what the religion is, if you ever meet a person who is very religious and follows their Bible, whatever version it is, that follows it to the T, on average, you look at that person as a good person. Oh, yeah. Like if you didn't know anything about them and you didn't know that they did, if you found out later, like, hey, this person always like follows their Bible, typically they're a pretty decent human being.
I hear Richie right now.
I know he wants to
You
go.
like the Catholic Church? You know, he
No.
the priest. Yeah.
I'm not talking about the people that go against it.
Of course.
And at the end of the day, you're still human beings. So I know
with
the
you.
whole priest thing is.
I'm with you.
The
A
whole
blind
priest-
taste test. I
Right.
want somebody who's religified over somebody who's
Right. I'm not talking about every person because
I know
clearly
Richie about to go. Let's
human
go.
beings are going to be human beings.
You know, studies have found that non-religious people are more empathetic to other people than religious people.
But I'm not talking about empathy.
Yeah, I'm about to say-
talking about morally,
Hey,
like, and
well,
how you
I
live
mean,
your life.
And empathetic is hard to measure.
Well,
Right.
when you're a
Be
good
real.
when you're a good empath, that typically leads to good behavior on most fronts because you feel what somebody else is gonna feel.
Not true.
That is
you
not
can be
true.
a good empath and be a bad person.
oh yeah.
Like, hey, I can understand what you're going through.
You can be a
but then
good-
I
I
can
don't
go
give a
do
damn.
something.
Exactly, I don't care.
You can be a good priest and be a bad person.
Right. That's why I said you're still a human being.
See, a good person's a good person.
I think
And
you
it
can
doesn't.
be.
I mean, you can look at you can read the Bible, and I'm not. And this isn't me shitting on religion, but you could read the Bible or you could read Aesop's fables. They teach you the same kind of things.
No, I get it. I mean, look, you go Bible, Quran, Torah. You can find. That's why I always say holy books. I never limit it to what I learned or what I believe in. But you got to grab it from a grander source than just what you see and what you exist in. Because these stories are consistent. Like, it's so crazy in our lifespan. We're going to live through and die with a JFK assassination, right? And the assassination attempts of Trump, and then we're gonna live through a Tupac, and then we're gonna live through a Nipsey Hussle. Like, we're gonna live through all this stuff. And then our kids are gonna maybe know about it, but don't really feel it or feel disconnected. And then their stars, their select will go through the same thing, and they'll act like it's just happened for the first time. Where these things are tried and true when you talk about those holy books. Tell me this, and this is conjecture, and this may be even something I shouldn't say. This may be out of bounds, but if you right now our political climate is termed as liberal and conservative, right? Democrat, Republican, right? And tell me if you feel liberal people are more empathetic than conservative people, because I'm more conservative than not. And I feel like, there's a lot of times I'm like, I don't care about him. And the only reason I don't care about him is because everyone gets a universal respect. And then after that, you got to go earn it. So I don't give you nothing more. I give you the same as you. Now, I know I live in a world where I'm supposed to give you a little more because what's up, bro? I'm like, no, I don't give you that. You know why? Because too many bros done went to me and I'm like, hey, bro, like he ain't. And it's a hard counterbalance. But the point is, all of us are here until you earn more. Liberals are more empathetic. But then they also seem more violent, because if you go where I'm from, everybody liberal and everybody been around some violence, whether they were the ones doing it or having to deal with it, and then they had to do it because somebody did it to them. Whereas you go to them conservative places, they probably be like, I don't like you, I don't care, whatever. But I ain't gonna mess with you because you know I got that thing, and you better not mess with me, I ain't gonna mess with you. Am I right in that assessment in general, or am I off? It sound real?
That's a good assessment. I'm waiting to hear your.
Yeah, I want to hear the
retort
counter for
to
real, because
that.
you started with empathetic, and I was like, empathetic people. Everyone I grew up with was liberal, or they would say empathetic, but then they the first ones to snap. I'm like, where'd the empathy go? Whereas the people who say I don't care about you, when something happened bad, they're like, cross that line, I dare you. Then they don't trip.
That's a good point.
Oh, man, okay.
That's a good point. I mean, and I never looked at it like that.
Me neither.
So
Aren't most liberal cities more violent?
Yeah.
You gotta be.
I never thought about
Well,
that until
most
you
liberals-
just said that. So
most
that
liberals-
was.
most liberal cities are bigger than conservative cities.
That's true.
Too. So
let's go per capita.
You're right.
Yeah. No, but you're right. You're right. Like, it just seems like if you want to go liberal hopping, and I'm not even going racial, I'm talking about, but a lot of times it aligns. We get it. But if you was go to those places, and I've lived in the most liberal places, LA, New York, and I mean, it's real. Yeah. And I'm like, the shit I saw versus Buffalo, Jacksonville. People in Jacksonville are like, man, hey, hi. And people in LA like, what's up? In New York, they're like, what? It's like, what?
You good?
You good?
Now, Buffalo and Jacksonville are way more homogenous than all the other cities you
Facts.
named, too.
Facts.
So
Yeah.
when
Dallas.
when
I
there's
lived in Dallas.
homogeny, there's tend to be less chaos because people are looking at each other and they're seeing themselves way more.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
So the empathy, it's easier to tap into the empathy because I'm really just liking myself. My selfishness is being projected because you look like me. You are me, right?
Right.
That's why the bro nod is supposed to mean something because you like me. But I'm like, no, he ain't. Like Richie is from the south side of Chicago. I've never been. Richie, daddy was a civil rights leader. My daddy was at the post office. Like, look, talk about, I don't get it.
Some would say, is that Southside Chicago and Compton are adjacent. It's a similar lifestyle. So yeah, the certain personal things are different, like what your father did, this and that. But if you're coming from the same type of environment, people would kind of expect you to be like of the same, like-minded.
Yeah, but
just because your experiences.
I agree, but then they don't extend it beyond race because I have been to some. You make the wrong turn going from Atlanta to Jacksonville. It's some of the poorest place. I mean, that car ain't never worked. Why is it in the front yard? And then
it costs too much to move it.
Yes. And it's a cabin. They still got an outhouse. And I'm like, then you see who come outside? It's white people. I'm like, the poorest people I've seen in this world are not black.
No.
I've been out the country, and I'm like, man, I've been to favelas. But I'm like, man, look.
That's also why the argument of how when they make rules against welfare, they always make it like it's a black thing. And typically, that's the mindset. Like they're making certain rules because it's black people that are going to be affected. But there's more white people on welfare than black people.
Exactly.
And the white people that are on welfare is like the slum.
Man,
like
they
the bottom of the barrel.
First of all, you know, you in America and you white and you broke, that got to feel double bad. Like that got to feel bad, right? Like that's like if I lived in a world where they were like, everybody over 280, we love them. And then they hate my ass. I'm like, damn, I ain't got nothing to show. Like that's how I got to feel if you broke and white. So they just get lost in the conversation. And, you know, look, Thomas Sowell talks about this. And what I love is if you really follow the money and you follow the culture, it will explain way more than following the race. And no one wants to go there. Slavery, if you really dive, you know, past page one, you'd be like, wait a minute. Did they sell slaves? The same people that were the ones that getting sold? Like black people selling black people? You're like, dang. But, you know, we ain't learned that. We just learned, these mean white people just came and grabbed us. And it's like, yeah. And then page 2 says, well, some black people helped them. And it's like kind of random like that. And I think knowledge, we all have our gaps in knowledge. So circling this all back, that's why religion is so important because it will fill in those gaps. It's like, yeah, you ain't got to go through this. Just let me tell you this story from Matthew 1:22. You know what I mean? And then you'll learn something. Now, who we got here? We didn't even introduce you. We just got you going.
I thought we were just going to bypass it and keep going at this point. We was already deep in convo.
You're too bright and colorful to pass you.
Hey, you know, I take it. Just New York City's finest.
Yeah.
Talking about New York City. The Knicks are in the Eastern Conference Finals, which I called.
You did. You called it. Dead on.
Timberwolves on the Western Conference Finals, which I called. And both will be in the finals, but we'll save that for a later conversation. But I just want to timestamp this.
Okay.
So when that happens, I can go.
Yeah. What I called.
I called.
With your half right ass. I only heard 2 teams.
Yeah, that was it.
Half right.
That was it. I said
New
Knicks.
York fans already spent all their energy.
Energy
In this last round.
There's no such thing as too much energy.
They're still climbing down from the light poles.
I got 30
right
clips I could just keep sending every day. I already sent you some. I was like, I'm gonna
And
take it
there-
easy.
and
I ain't gonna
therein
keep
lies
sending
the
it to
problem.
them.
That shit was 5 days ago, and they still going
every
at
day.
it. Like
They
they
still-
won the championship.
Nobody party like a New Yorker, son.
If they win, I'm going. If they go to the finals,
You going to a game?
I got to.
I heard courtside.
I ain't gonna be sitting courtside.
No. This is just to give you perspective. The courtside seats went for $54,000, and so it's gonna go up if they in the finals. So that means every seat goes up.
The nosebleeds, the cheapest ticket in the building was $670.
So that's I know we got that, but the point is, do you want to sit in the 450?
Well, no, I'm not gonna sit there.
So then you gonna spend how much? How much you
I don't
spending?
know. I gotta figure it out. I gotta figure it out.
Off the top of the dome, what would be your cap?
Yeah, what's your cap?
I don't know. Feds might be watching. So I don't know. I'm just saying.
Feds watching.
Feds might be watching. Just, I don't know.
Before you answer, if you turn around, I can make that screen the Knick game and then and charge you only half of what you would pay to go to it.
This is true. I mean,
And you got one bathroom there.
I mean-
and one bathroom there.
I'm still fiscally responsible.
Yeah.
So if it's too much, I just won't be going.
But what's too much?
But I would at least go just to be in the environment. I don't care if I go and I'm just outside the arena, just in that mosh pit of just the energy. I'm okay doing that.
Oh, so
too.
you doing Dick Clark New Year's Eve now? You just out there peeing and boo-booing on yourself.
Hey.
Talking about go Knicks.
Hey, when you home, you home. So I feel
What do
right.
you hold? You gonna shit
Nah, I'm
yourself?
gonna be back in my element. I'm gonna be back in my element and embracing all of the energy.
All them black trash bags. You like, oh, this is home. This is
fun.
dirt.
Hey,
Rats.
and
We back.
and we love it. And we love it. And we love every bit of it.
Dog, New York is the most hyped place ever. Now, this doesn't mean
It's backed up too. It's
I was about to say
it's justified.
A ton of merit, but way too much sauce on them ribs. Like, come on.
It's everything that it's hyped up to be.
No, let me give you this.
And
If-
you know it. As
No,
somebody who lived there.
Nope.
You know it.
And this is why I know
He
LA's the
secretly
best.
wants to be a New Yorker.
No, I don't.
Yes,
I
you
left.
You left because this is home.
No,
But
I-
you loved it while you was there.
No. I left because I realized I couldn't live my level out there. And this is what I say.
That's true.
Jay-Z,
That's true.
New Yorker, where's he live? Bye-bye. Diddy, New Yorker, where's he live? Not there. Okay. Before, but not. Don't say jail.
Before his new house.
To be fair, they lived there for a long time.
Oh,
too,
I know.
Even while successful.
You're giving me my point. I know too many people that take that one way east to west, but I don't know anybody going west to east one way.
To be fair, and y'all not gonna like this. I
Oh,
know we
God.
got a bunch of LA people here. To go from west to east, I don't know if y'all can handle that. It's a
good point. No, that's a good point.
Yeah, I don't, you're not really built to handle it. The pace is way faster.
That's true.
It's a lot more congested.
Yeah, that's
You're
not
used
good.
to being here and having space and freedom, and then the people are a lot more aggressive. Not saying you can't handle the aggression,
Yeah.
but it is an adjustment.
This is what you just said. Slow down. We should go in the other studio do hydration situation. You literally said, I don't know if y'all can handle it. A lot more congested. People on you.
These are real
freedom.
things.
Yeah. Could you handle slavery now? No. You like your freedom. Like, freedom.
Right.
Yes, I like my freedom.
Right,
What do you mean?
but that's what I'm saying. So that's
So what, you like
harder,
slavery?
It's harder. No, it's harder for somebody from LA to adjust to New York than it is from New York to LA, because from here to there we get nicer weather. We're used to dealing with terrible weather, frigid. It's dirty. I mean, it's dirty here too,
Sounds
but
like
it's
a no-brainer to me.
That's what it is.
But then there's things in New York that you can't replace here.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
the opposite happens. There's New Yorkers who come out to LA and then leave because it's too slow.
Right. I
It's
know a
too
bunch of people
much
that came here and
driving.
went
That
back
never
home.
happens.
It does happen.
No, I know a bunch of
They
people that
say
moved
it
here
happens.
and went
I'm
back.
That never happens.
I know at least 10 people
Yeah.
that moved here and went
because
back.
they maybe it was something with their career or something like that.
They
but
just didn't feel the energy.
Nobody moves back to New York.
I'm gonna tell you.
because of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So as a New
I've
Yorker,
been here a
I'm
long
gonna tell you the
time.
New Yorkers why they go back.
I was here during the mass exodus of New Yorkers in the music biz, from acting, all that stuff.
Break it down.
But that's
Did
different. Music and entertainment, you have to be here. You have to.
Nobody moved back to New York.
New Yorkers-
not voluntarily.
Let a New
not
Yorker speak on
voluntarily.
this.
It's hard for them to slow it down.
He
That's-
can live.
that's what I'm saying.
Justin
'Cause
could
they're
live
not
in New
happy with
York.
themselves.
You could live in New York if you wanted to.
You got to hear all them
But
thoughts.
you live here.
Yeah, because I got tired of the cold.
Right.
That was the only thing that kept me here. But
Another
there's a bunch
reason.
Well,
of
you got
things.
family too now.
It's so much of an
If
easier
my kids
lifestyle
weren't
here.
in school here, I might not still be here.
But just you actually.
But I like it
answered.
here.
They got-
I like
they
it
got
here, though.
Look, you're saying you only like the pizza for the cheese, and somebody else likes it
No,
for
no,
the
no.
crust. But the point is, you like the pizza, and that's
I
LA.
like it here.
You
I'm
like
not,
LA.
I'm not knocking
Yeah,
LA
yeah,
in any
yeah,
way
yeah.
because
We're better.
I'm here.
We're
They're
better.
not better. It's better for what I want,
Which is life.
which is weather. Freedom. I literally left New York for
got
one
schools
reason.
in Montclair.
For weather. I literally left for the
New-
weather. That was
in
it.
New Rochelle.
I got
No.
tired of shoveling snow.
Now let me tell
I
you.
got
this-
tired of being cold.
This is
That
what
was
told
it.
me I am not. I knew to go to New York of all the school choices I had. I said, go to New York because it's the only city that rivals LA in people's mind. So, I only went out there for a recruiting trip twice, which I don't know if it's legal, but whatever. I went twice. I went for a prospective
Statute of
weekend.
limitation.
Yeah,
Been
yeah.
passed.
I don't know about that either now. You know what I'm saying, Columbia?
Oh,
yeah, no.
true.
So here we go. So I went twice, and I was like, I could lease New York. I'm going to rent New York in my life. For 4 years, I'm going to go here, and then I'll make some real decision. And then what I learned is right when I was getting drafted, I said, where could I live in New York and feel like, wow, this is great living? And then I start looking at real affluent, rich people, and I start seeing how they live. And it was like car service, doorman. Right next to you is like LA now, like some homeless people. Like it was just weird. And I was like, these are nice areas. And everything felt like you had this much room of greatness around everything else was just chaotic. And I was like, in LA, you could kind of bunker in a little bit. Like, it's a lot more of a lane of everybody living good. I ain't like that.
When I lived, like, one of the things moving here, what I realized is in New York, no matter how hard you grind, no matter how much money you make, you don't really see it. Like, you don't really see somebody's success because everybody kind of just does normal things. Yeah. And in here, you kind of see the world. Whether it's real or not, you see a lot more. Like here, if somebody's rich, they might pull up to the restaurant in a Lamborghini or something, right? Yeah. But in New York, they might just pull up in a black truck. Yeah.
In New York,
everyone's in a black truck. Yeah, and you're either on the 40th floor or the second floor of the same building.
Same building, right?
Yeah. And sometimes a guy, like, I've been on a train. And it's like established actors. I'm with you. They done made some money. They sitting right next to you on the train.
And so, they love that. That's part of the charm of New York, though.
And I think that is why a lot of New Yorkers, when we talk about, you said New Yorkers don't go back. I know a bunch of New Yorkers that went back for that reason.
That's
the
real.
Interaction with people. And like, it was always the people and food. That was the two things that always sent everybody back. Because just interacting with people here is very different from interacting with people in New York. It's more real.
And I joke about it. I love New York.
You catch the last part, though? You going to let them do that?
It is more real. No, everybody knows that.
It's not
That's
more real.
People in LA, let me tell you what, not everybody, but a bunch of people in LA, like, you'll be like, oh, let's hang out, let's do this, you know, that Hollywood talk. Yeah. And they don't even really like you.
No.
In New York, if you don't like somebody, it's very clear. Like, we don't like each other. We can coexist in the same room. You do your thing over there, I do my thing over here.
That's true.
We don't do all of the fake smiling and all of that.
Like the ladder climbing on you.
Yeah, we don't do that.
That one girl conned all of New York. There was a whole lot of fake smiling going on.
Who you talking about?
that girl who went to prison for conning.
Getting all that money?
Yeah, she was saying she was this and that. People just wanted to be around her.
I mean, there's always going to be the minority.
I think you're going to have that everywhere.
But I'm talking about the majority, though, not.
Yeah, New York got. He said more real, and I'm only taking defense because I'm an LA guy, and I'm like, I'm real. Real LA people, like natives, we're cool. It's these mugs that move in here.
It's the New Yorkers that move.
It's the people from like the Midwest and from these random places. And they come to big cities, and then they try to make it in a big city. New York's another big city, so you don't come to LA and try to live big city life.
That's actually real about New York. Everyone I met in New York is not from New York. Everyone in Manhattan is not from New York. They're from Europe. They're from California.
Like people in Manhattan.
Yeah, in Manhattan. You're talking about New York. You're talking about the city.
Yeah, they're transplants.
We're not talking about Brooklyn or
Yeah. New York City people that live in New York City are typically transplants from somewhere else.
Right. And it's a different. Look, I love New York for what it is, and he's right. There's an energy that can't be replaced. Like, you ain't going nowhere else. And at 4 a.m, it feel like this or whatever it may be, you know. The happy hour.
We were talking when you said the W. When we was playing pickleball, and I tell you, I used to live across the street from there, right in Times Square. At the time, I was working a job, and I was working like overnight, right? And I would come home. It was like 3:15, 3:30 in the morning, and everybody's outside. In the building I was living in, we used to start calling it was called the Biltmore. We used to call it Club Biltmore because you go there at 3:30 and it's at least 30, 40 people from the building. We all just hanging out in the lobby. People just talking, hanging out. There's a pizza spot right across the street that's open. So you eating, hanging out, laughing. Just 3:30 in the morning. Yeah. It's like you would think it's 3:30 in the afternoon in other cities.
Yeah, but
and there's no place like
in the morning, that. Every block has a line of people waiting for the halal carts, the chicken
rice.
Right,
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no place like that. Like now, living here all these years now, it's like at 9 o'clock, I know if I'm hungry, I gotta figure it out.
You better hurry up.
Because by 10 o'clock,
it's shut down.
It ain't happening. Yeah. In New York, I used to literally leave my house sometimes. I'll wake up like 1, 2 in the morning, like, I'm hungry. And I would leave my house, go get something to eat, and come back because everything was always open. So that was like a real adjustment, like moving here. And again, that's one of those things where if you've been in New York your whole life, you come here, some people can't adjust to that.
Yeah. So, and New York, my thing, that I love, but it was in contrast, is like how pedestrian it is and congested, which was a stark contrast to LA, which is you're in your own car and you're on your own island. Like even your car is an island. Like nobody connected to you inside of there, right? Your own bubble. But then this was a moment I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here too. So in New York, when y'all all hanging out together, like it's a bunch of y'all in the corner, that's good. That's a positive. That's like, oh, we chilling. In LA, that means somebody about to get shot. Somebody about to go down. If I see more than 3 cats together, I'm like, who fighting?
It's good if you're in certain
neighborhoods.
If you're in the hood, but it's the same. It's the same thing.
But see, New York, once again, your neighborhoods, your hoods are a little different than our hoods because our hoods are like over there. Your hood is like, yeah, but right over there is pretty nice.
See, that's the opposite. I always felt like that when I came to LA, because in LA, and that's why so many people come here and get robbed, because you be in the hood and you see palm trees and you see regular houses.
What you see. But
right, you see regular houses, and then the next block it's crazy over there.
No, don't do LA like that.
But you don't really tell the difference. Like in New York, you know when you in the hood. And you know when it's like nice, like you'll see the difference.
LA will fool you,
right?
Because it'll be the hood, but it'll be single family homes,
right,
with grass and fences.
And it's nice over here.
I'm not saying how it look. I'm saying where it is. So where is y'all hood? Okay, but how close am? Columbia was Harlem, which is Morningside Heights, which I'm like, y'all just renaming this shit. This is the hood, and it's okay, but just call it what it is.
Manhattan's an exception,
okay?
Because everything in Manhattan looks the same because it's all buildings.
Yep. Okay.
Like there's no houses. Like you got brownstones, but it's an island with all buildings. So whether you in a hood or you in a nice area, it just all looks
right. Now, this is why you haven't been to churches, because you ain't been to the hood, right? Because it ain't right here.
I didn't know it was here.
Exactly.
I Googled it the other day, and y'all churches is different from the churches I was talking about. But continue.
Really?
Like the one I looked here, it was like called Churches Texas Chicken or something like that.
No.
I looked it up.
Don't do us like that,
The logo looked different from the logo in New York.
So we got the real logo. Y'all got the fake logo, son. I don't know. But my point is this.
Lead me to it, please.
To go to the like, first of all, people in LA ain't even been past the 110.
Yeah.
Or the 10, but the one.
Yeah.
You want to see LA?
Go the other side of the 10.
East on that 110 and then plant your ass down there. My grandma used to live on Broadway 56. Oh my God. It's a whole different animal. You know, then Compton, Watts, etc. Right? So the point is, you go there and you're like, okay, buckle up. We here. In New York, like Manhattan, I should say, in certain places you be riding and be like, oh, that's nice. Oh, this is not it. And so my point was this story. I thought that every time I saw people on the corner, look out. So I'm getting to Columbia. I'm new. I got these LA tendencies. And I'm walking. It's on 110th and Amsterdam, which they say is like Spanish Harlem.
Yeah.
Spanish Harlem.
That's Upper West Side.
Upper West Side, right.
That's not like.
That's my point.
That ain't the trenches. That's not you got to go a little higher up.
No, I know if we go to the what's the Heights?
Yeah, well, you cross 125th. And you keep
cross 125.
Then it's
no.
shady.
What's that real bad area like 160th and like?
Oh, you talking about right by the Bronx?
No, not there. Like Broadway and 150, 160. Columbia Hospital's there. That's I've heard of that neighborhood. You know what I'm talking about?
I know you're talking about because my boy used to live on 149th in Amsterdam.
Okay, so I'm in Spanish Harlem. They say whatever. That's like it's Columbia. It's all right. And then these 3 dudes is there. And they out in front of a bodega. This is so stereotypical. Like, it's a bodega. I was like, what's a bodega? I'm in there.
24 hours.
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm like, this is a liquor store with fruit. Like, what you talking about? What the fuck is a bodega?
You get sandwiches.
Yeah, and sandwiches. But I didn't know all this. This is one of my first times in there. I'm looking at this dude. He darker than me.
Liquor store with fruit. Liquor store with fruit. That's such an out-of-towner thing to say.
I'm like, call it what you want, right?
You could get groceries.
Yeah, I'm like, all right.
And sandwiches. Like,
yeah, fruit.
I know, but you get like cereal. Looking like you get real groceries in there.
I don't know what liquor store you been in LA. We got cereal in our liquor store.
About 4 cats walking around. That's right. Literal cats.
Yeah.
Like walking around.
So I'm there and I'm tripping off of like the fruit and all that stuff and the groceries. And I'm tripping off this dude darker than me speaking the best Spanish I've ever heard in my life. I was like,
Dominican.
Yeah, he's Dominican. I never met a Dominican. So I'm tripping off of that. And so I know I'm doing a stare game, you know, where you're looking at somebody way too long because you like, yo, this is like a sociology experiment. Who in the fuck are you? You know what I mean? So I'm doing all of that. Then I leave the store, and it's a bunch of dudes, like 3 dudes, maybe, and a couple more in the car. It looked like a paid in full scene. They just chilling. They ain't doing nothing. But I'm shook because where I'm from, if I see this, it's like we in level 2, DEFCON. You know what I mean? Like, be ready. And one of the cats, when I was walking, he said, "Hey, you ain't gotta be quiet. You shook, homie," or something like that, right? And I was,
they could smell it on.
yeah, they could smell. It was like jungleistic, and I was like, damn, I done lost my Compton because I got to convert Compton to Harlem or whatever it is. So then I start realizing when I walk by cats, because in LA you walk by a bunch of cats, you're like, "What's up, man?" Or "What's up?"
You don't do that in
Dude,
New York.
you don't do that in New York. Them motherfuckers looking at me like, "Hey, bro."
I
chill."
just saw a video of that yesterday on Instagram. The guy was like, "Hey, when you come to New York, here's some great tips if you want to meet people. You walk down to the South Bronx, or you go to Harlem, go this place, and you just walk up to people and say, 'Hey, you good?'" it's like, do not do that. You will die. Do not do that. You don't say nothing. You just. And you said you was staring at somebody?
Yeah, I was staring. I was doing all the work.
That is what you don't do in New York.
It was
don't
all
stare
bad.
at nobody.
This is my last New York point. Y'all corny for this. This is your worst part. This is the part I just. First of all, everyone, when it's a fad in New York, everybody locked in. Tim's, the big Duffy, the Carhartt, like them phases. And then when y'all get somewhere, everybody got to know you there. So it's like, yo, what's up, boy? This is a basketball game. I'm trying to watch the second quarter.
In the building.
Oh, y'all in the building? What's up? Come on.
Hey, walking in, everybody yelling.
I loved it, but I was like, this is some ghetto shit right here.
That's true. That's true.
All right, let's get into since we talking New York, let's talk Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals. We got the New York Knicks to stay in New York. They playing the Indiana Pacers. Boring. Oh, let me stop. It's good basketball, but something ain't right. Like, something ain't right. This ain't like pure basketball, big time, like legacy teams. This is like.
I don't know. That rivalry is a long standing rivalry.
And what do we have to show for it? Go. How many Pacers championships?
Well, you
how
don't
many
have nothing
Knicks
to stand
championships?
for, but in the New York Pacers rival is a big thing. Like, it's always been dating all the way back to Reggie Miller era. Yeah, like.
Oh, it's great
the old
moments,
Knicks,
great highlights.
And it's happened at every stage. Like, it's like every 7 years, like that rivalry like fires back up again.
Yeah, that's one way to
Which
gas
is the only
this up.
team that I think makes the Knicks actually nervous. Or New Yorkers, I should say, makes the New Yorkers nervous. There's always something about the Pacers. Like, the Knicks will get past everybody, and there's something about when they play the Pacers, it gets a little tricky.
What kind of weird world we live in when Durant and other stars only make it to the conference finals, we kill them. But then when y'all, that's all y'all do. Y'all ain't won it all, even if you make it to the finals. And then we love it. Like, it's like this weird appreciation in sports. It's always like, if you like that player, oh, that was a good year. He came up short. You don't like that player like LeBron. That's a damn gummy ring. That's a damn bubble ring. Like, y'all ain't done nothing. So why am I supposed to be excited?
Just because you said Durant only gets further than that when he joins other people. You know what I mean? He don't join other people. He doesn't go much further. So I don't know if he's in this conversation.
I digress.
But he should have joined the Knicks when they were trying to get him. Because then, hey, maybe he'd be a little further right now.
But here's where the excitement's at. It's a true passing the torch moment. Think of every superstar on each of these 4 teams: Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous, Tyrese Halliburton, and Jalen Brunson. We're not talking about the Joker, Giannis, LeBron, Steph Curry.
New school.
Yeah, we're talking about new school. And whoever wins can be the first championship. That's the excitement factor. It's not for us.
None of that
It's
moved me, but I hear you.
Well, I just said it's not for us.
Through the names. You're
It's
like,
not for us.
You went to Halliburton and Jalen Brunson, which are beasts.
You don't want to. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, don't get me twisted. Beasts. Come on, y'all.
The next generation.
You don't want to see somebody new win? I think that's exciting to see like a new who's
We're still hung up. You're still hung up on Kevin Durant and Kawhi Leonard on one knee.
Yeah. I mean, hung up. It's not even hung up. All right. Let me say this. NBA wants parity. NBA got parity. NBA changed the CBA. They changed the increases to the CBA from 30% the year Kevin Durant went to Golden State to now it's 10% every year. And the second apron and all that affects your basketball personnel roster. They wanted parity. To your point, this is going to be, I think, the 7th year in a row. There will guaranteed be a new champion. Applaud you, NBA, for that. Here's the also other issue that runs concurrent to it. The ratings have been declining because we like Goliaths. This world acts like they love David. You only love David when you feel down on your luck. You want to wake up not an underdog, but the big dog. And that's why we love when we see the Chiefs who are now all the way in it. And there was a change of guard when the Chiefs was like the Knicks for the early 2000s. And then all of a sudden they became a dynasty. And we want that dynasty to continue. And we're looking for that, I think, in the NBA still. That's why we were so excited for Luka.
OKC's not an underdog.
No, they're
were
just
heavy
a
favorites.
favorite.
Also talking about a bunch of small market teams, except for the Knicks. Like everybody else is small franchises. So I think that also plays into the ratings and things like that. But they said the playoff ratings this year have been like through the roof.
I have seen that.
So I think it does play into all these new stars, the new age of stars coming in, and we're literally watching the transition happen.
Yeah, I hope.
I recall me saying
You did
this,
say that.
and everybody said I was a hater.
I didn't. Or maybe I did.
Yeah, you did.
All three of y'all said I was a hater.
Oh, true.
I was in the bathroom.
I think it's important. It's important for the league for this to happen.
You're right.
The changing of the guard is important. We can't watch LeBron forever. You know what I mean?
You're right.
It's got to be some new blood. And these cats are good, but it's the brand of basketball is so different. When I think of Pacers, Knicks now, it feels like that game is just going to glide above the floor because there's nobody anchoring it. There's no meat and potatoes in it. It's just going to be a lot of fast kids running and shooting threes.
Right.
And that's what we don't really have a feeling for, so we don't know what to expect from it. Before, you knew Rick Mahorn was going to knock somebody down, or the cats, Anthony Mason was going to knock your ass down.
Julius Randle still has
That's
that
my
old
favorite
school
era.
ball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
The
Julius
bully
Randle
ball.
he bullies his way to the basket, but he ain't bullying as a
He don't
defender.
play real bully ball.
You know what I mean? He's not. He shoots too many threes, and I love Julius Randle,
Yeah,
but
he got game.
he's not Anthony Mason.
No.
You know what I mean? And we don't have that. We don't
he's
have
better than
anybody like
Anthony
that.
Mason.
About to say.
I know, I'm
Queens
just
legend.
saying, I'm just saying.
But I
Hey,
just
yo.
want but Anthony, the grit and
the
the
teams
toughness.
used to have the fire and the ice.
Yeah.
Now they just have the fire.
Well, you know what they had? Your understanding of what they had. And it's like what plagues college basketball right now. They're not there long enough to build a brand that we understand who you are. Like literally, gun to head, you can walk up to most people right now and say, who won a national championship? And then they answer it, Florida. And then you say, name 3. Name 2. Okay, you better know the one. And like, it's just gone. Remember the days we used to know the whole starting 5 of the team that didn't even make it. Like past the Sweet 16, you knew everybody. And it's happening, I'm not going to lie, the NBA is, because it's getting global, so the borders are expanding. Even if there are not more teams and there's just a fluidity. I was watching Cleveland all year. I was like, how many dudes they got from Europe? And like it's just Spain. I was like, where are these kids coming from everywhere? And I'm like, that's beautiful in expansion, but we like retention. You want to hold on to, he been there, he going to keep going there. And that's, I think, the danger of changing of guard.
That's a good point.
And that's where we at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even forgot that Florida won the championship.
See?
And it's funny you say that because they mentioned it on ESPN radio when I was on my way over here and I was like, oh shit, I forgot Florida won the championship. Because some Florida kid, some kid from Arkansas transferred to Florida.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, Florida won the championship?
Yeah.
Totally forgot.
It's a fluidity. It's different.
What I do know is if the Knicks win the whole thing, it's going to change basketball. Because I think that the
I wanna see
impact,
that.
the impact
I
of
wanna see
them
that.
winning is one thing.
Yeah.
And then just how they did it. Like they don't have their leader is Jalen Brunson, who's like 6 foot at best. Like he's not the super athlete. He's not it just shows that they just put together a team of just like a solid team of pieces that work with each other. You didn't need the crazy superstar or the household name to still pull it off.
Brunson Hart and Miles Bridges win together over at Villanova?
Yeah.
They did, right? So they know
and
what
they
it
had
means to win it all.
DiVincenzo too.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because they had DiVincenzo. They put them all together and then they never even got to play a game together because as soon as they got Bridges, they went and traded for Karl Anthony
But they
Towns.
have that championship. They have that experience.
Well, yeah, they
having
got
won
it
all
in them, and
before.
I think that's why they've gone this far because they have the chemistry from before they even made it to the league, and they've gotten to the big game and done it.
Yeah, they trust each other.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can tell that. And that's what I like about OKC is they all
do.
trust each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Those teams are very similar to me. And I would probably give the edge to OKC because OKC seems even more closer together you know, those cats are with each other all the time. You never see one without the other. Not giving interviews and stuff after the game. It's like they're glued together.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about, especially when you talk about the Knicks and you're talking about OKC, which I think is going to be the finals. I'm not sure. I don't know. Minnesota looks great too at times. Sometimes Anthony Edwards is, like we were saying before, we're going to talk through it. Too many threes, start the game too slow. I don't know what's going on. But their leaders, Brunson especially and SGA, two guys who quickly got slapped in the face and landed on their feet, but slapped in the face by big business NBA, and then became leaders of this next generation and in a position for a championship, which is weird because usually it's the most talented guy who you just pamper and make sure you protect them and build around them, and then we got it. That's the old NBA, right? Keep them here and just build around them. And then now we're seeing, wait a second, these guys are coming from other situations and leading to championship level basketball, and that's why those teams are so glued together. More than even the collegiate experience, is like when your leader, and Kobe talked a lot about this, he said when your leader, Tom Brady talks about this, when your leader is the one that's under the fire, when your leader's getting lit up by coach, when your leader would be the hardest worker, when your leader beats everyone in every rep, dog, it ain't nothing you can do. And some of these situations you can look and you say, the leader is load managing, the leader is preserving himself. And I think that's phasing out now, because it's like, dog, if you ain't putting it in, you ain't going to get out what you want.
That's why I keep saying I don't think Kawhi can be a leader of a team.
He's not
Not at this point.
I don't think he was ever a good leader. He's just a great player. He's
Insane
never a good
player.
leader.
And I think that's a problem. When your best player isn't your leader, it leads to a problem.
Yeah.
You're not going to listen to the. You can have another good leader, but you don't listen to him as much if you don't
No, but
believe
the
in their
Boston
talent.
Celtics that won the championship, Rondo was the leader of that team. He wasn't the best player.
He wasn't the leader.
You don't think so? KG was the leader?
No, KG
Rondo
was the leader, and Paul
KG.
Pierce
And
were the
PP.
clear leaders of that team.
KG would tell you he was and probably was. Paul Pierce wouldn't say it, but probably was. You know what I mean? KG going to be like, yo.
Right.
Yeah.
But I look at it like the Lakers right now, like what a Luka, they in trouble. Like Luka better get in shape, because if the Lakers don't show him that you gonna have to lead us, because LeBron can't lead us because of just energy and time committed already, then situations like that are gonna go away. And those are the teams that, I ain't gonna lie, if the Lakers were in it, and I'm not a Laker fan, I would be more excited to see that. I like to see Goliath brand basketball. I like to see Usain Bolt line up one more time. Versus, no, I heard this kid is really fast. And I'm like, And to me, this looks like our basketball right now. We're hearing about a bunch of kids who are really good. And they are really good. But where's our old school? What's our OG? That transition has me a little shook. Well, let's focus in on the Western Conference then. Minnesota going against OKC. How y'all see that? How you see it playing out?
I got Minnesota. You know, we already know. I think the biggest dog is usually the one that gets through the fight. I like OKC though. I like the fluidity of their team and how well they play together. I feel like they always perform, but I think Anthony Edwards is going to take it personal, just because I remember, I think it was last year or maybe a year before, and they was asking like who he thinks the best young players are in the league, and he put him, SGA, and Luka. He brought those three. He's like, but I'm the best. Like, I'm better than both of them. So I think going in now, he's aware, like, the spotlight's on you, because now you playing against SGA. Here's your chance to go to the finals. You had a chance to go last year, but y'all lost to Luka. So here's your opportunity to show,
I like that.
Are you that guy?
Yeah.
Because you lost to Luka last year, and then you beat him this year. And now the other guy that you said is the second best, well, here's your opportunity to get him out of here and go to the promised land. So I think he has enough motivation to take him there.
Would you take Anthony Edwards over SGA?
Yes.
No.
I'd take it.
No, hell
No, I think Anthony Edwards brings something to the table that SGA doesn't. I think skill wise they're both elite, but I just feel like Anthony Edwards just got something. It's just something different. It could be that little extra dog in him, but I just feel like just
that New York explanation. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the energy.
It's the energy.
Who's the better basketball player?
I think
the MVP that's coming up this year.
I don't know. Well, he gonna win it now because they beat OKC, and I know I know people gonna say, "Oh, these votes came in before."
Yeah.
They wait. I'm just like all of a sudden how Dallas got the #1 pick. I think it's all rigged. So he,
Stay focused.
I think
Who's
Anthony
the better
Edwards
basketball
better.
player?
I think I'm here.
All right, Shaq.
Okay, yeah.
I was coming right back to that. I think Anthony Edwards is better than SGA slightly.
See, I don't think Anthony Edwards knows how to use his dog yet. Yeah. I don't think he knows how to make that dog make his teammates better, make his team better, and control the game.
You see it in spurts.
SGA is better than him at that. I give you that.
And I think at this point of the season, that's going to make a huge difference.
I think that makes a huge difference for OKC because they have a bunch of players who need SGA to do that. I think with Minnesota, they got a bunch of players who all know their role and are good enough in their role. Like Julius Randle don't need Anthony Edwards to necessarily do certain things to make him better. Julius Randle's confident in who he is. OKC is a bunch of pretty much role players.
No,
with
Jalen Williams could be a 1B. When SGA is off,
Jalen Williams would not be a 1 on any team.
Yeah, that 1 is strong.
He's a 3 at best. At best.
In the playoffs, Jalen Williams.
Wait. He's a 2 on his own team.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, G.
Because of what SGA does. I think SGA makes him look like a 2. He's so good that although I think Pippen was Pippen, but a lot of times you see somebody who's so good when he has another person next to him, they look a lot better because the attention is so much on the 1 that now this person who's really probably a 3 looks a lot better.
What does that say about SGA?
Well, that's what I said. I gave him his credit. I said he's better than Anthony Edwards at that, making other players around him better or feeling more. But I think he has to do that based on the structure of his team.
Well, Phil Jackson disagrees with you because he said Scottie Pippen was the best overall player that he had. And, I don't want to go into a Pippen-Jordan argument, but, boy, good Lord, Pippen was a lot. I mean, he did everything, and Jordan did some things greater, but not everything. But this argument, SGA to me versus Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle proves the point because Julius Randle not only confident, not already been through the league, already an all-star, but I think Julius Randle being the vet also is like, young man is still figuring out where that dog gonna hunt, so let me go get this. Because it even happened in the Lakers series. There was times like you just see Anthony Edwards being an athlete playing basketball, and then you're like, dog, one thing I know about basketball is who's efficient, who's effective. I'm like, I've seen too many athletes playing basketball. I tried it. I was like, oh, I failed. And I know now there's a difference between I could jump out the gym and be all these things and measurables, but I don't play the game. That's why Jokic is like, what are y'all doing? What's all that running for? You know what I mean? It's like Luka, what y'all doing? A lot of the Euro game is like, what y'all doing? And I think Anthony Edwards is not extreme there, but he's closer to still athlete ball than SGA is, which usually you play longer and you're more effective for a longer time because it's less wear and tear to just do all that stuff. And Julius Randle shows me every time he steps up, it ain't because Anthony Edwards is killing it and he let's do this together. He let me pick up some of this slack. You don't feel that?
I do, but when I think about, we still talking about, I don't know if we're talking about OKC and Minnesota. One thing I think about with the two of them is OKC just struggled with Denver. Yes, they won, but Denver is not a good defensive team, and Minnesota is. You put McDaniels on SGA, is he going to stop him? No, but I think he's going to slow him down. And Gobert and Randle in the paint, I think it's going to be a problem.
That's a lot
for OKC.
That's a lot
because all they got is Hartenstein.
They don't really play in the paint though.
Well, they got
right,
Chet.
but
they got Chet. He's also
Chet doesn't really play in the
Chet
paint.
on Randle. That's a mouse in the house.
I'm about to say
that's bully ball all day.
That's a toothpick.
Yeah, he's gonna be in foul trouble trying to guard him. So that's going to take him out of his game.
And Randle can. Randle though. He's like
Randle's too strong for him.
But he trade off the strength for 4.5
That only
inches.
works on the wing. That only works on the wing. Because when he gets in the paint, you being tall ain't going to necessarily help. When you can't get to your position, when you can't get to your spot because that forearm is keeping you from moving, Like, what you gonna do?
But if I'm getting rebounds without jumping over,
Not when Gobert is, but Gobert is there. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Gobert
no,
is there
that's true.
strictly for the rebounds and the blocks.
now, yeah.
But you got Hartenstein for him. He's also 7 feet
Hartenstein.
tall.
Yeah, but he
and
can't.
he's thicker.
Pause. But
Yeah,
he ain't.
seriously. Seriously.
But he
Come on now. Come
could have
on.
used any other one.
Yeah.
He can say he's bigger.
All these words he can use. He's been single too long. yeah. You better get back. You better come back. That's what happens. You can hit that Explore page on that U channel you be watching.
Justin, I know where you're going with this. You're
They
thinking
have
about
a
the
tough
Anthony
time.
Edwards from last playoffs, last season. He
I'm
was
talking
a
about one right
different
now.
beast. Nah, he's more inconsistent this season.
Yeah,
think so?
Yeah, if it was Anthony Edwards from last year, I'd say they'll take it. But the Anthony Edwards this playoffs, to Marcellus's point, he's not there. He turns it on sometimes, and he just kind of fades away in the background.
I agree with why you're saying that, but here's my pushback to that. They're beating everybody easily. So I think part of that is when you get comfortable winning so easily, you don't always give it your full effort because you're like, we got this. I think when he plays against them, he knows there's a different type of pressure on him, and now the stakes are a lot higher. So you're forced to have to show up in these moments because again, they're going to compare him and SGA for the next 10 years with each other. So now you know when you get on that court and you're playing against a guy who's arguably they saying is better than you got to perform because you got to know if I don't perform tonight, the first thing they're going to talk about is how good SGA was and how bad I was. Yeah. So I think he's forced to perform this series.
All right, let's rank them before we get out of here and get into these meaty, deep topics. SGA, Luka, and Anthony Edwards. What's your ranking? What you got in order?
SGA, Anthony Edwards, Luka. That's my order.
Damn, is this some recency bias?
Mine's the exact opposite.
I'm about to say Luka that far. No, I'm just kidding. It's third, but still.
It's the defense part that kills me with Luka. He's a one-way player. Shea can play both sides. Anthony Edwards can play both sides. Luka can't do jack shit on defense.
Yeah, you ain't never
Period.
And never will. I don't think he ever will. His lateral movement they showed at the combine was like one of the worst. Like if you just look at him,
He's
you're
not
like,
athletic at all.
yeah, he's not. It's never coming. Like that's not coming. He could lose some weight and be faster and quicker, but going this way, he just ain't built for that. That's just not how his body is. All right, who you got?
I have exactly the same way as Gene. I think it's SGA, Anthony Edwards, and then Luka.
Okay,
Especially at this point. Especially because I think Luka's on his downward.
You've been saying that.
I truly believe that. I
can't believe a 25-year-old about to be out his prime. That is insane.
So Luka's downfall is if you're building a team around these three guys, you have to build a certain way around Luka. I don't think you have as much versatility with him. You have to cover up his defensive weaknesses. With Anthony Edwards, Shea, you have a lot more. You have a lot more options to build around them.
Yeah,
Luka, you have to build with wings, big men, like guys that can do lobs. Lob threats. You're just limited in terms of how you're going to build around Luka.
Cover his ass. Yep.
Mine's the opposite, the exact opposite. I think it's Luka, it's Ant, and then SGA. And I say Luka because everything you said is the exact reason why I have Luka as number one. You said he's slow, he's not athletic, he's out of shape, and look what he does at that. So it's like,
but I
if
never
this guy's all of these things at his lowest,
brilliance. Never said slow, and I just said he doesn't play defense.
Right, but I mean, Richie has talked about Luka before, saying like he's out of shape and all this, and he scores so effortlessly, like he makes the game look too easy when he plays, and that's doing that out of shape.
That's because he only does one thing when he's playing the game.
And on some teams, that's all you need.
Yeah, but
that's Golden State.
On
all they
most
needed
teams,
Steph to do was score. They built around him. They put the pieces they needed around him because they knew he was such an elite talent at offense. It's like, hey, we'll figure out the rest. But what you do offensively is hard to replicate that. Yeah. So I'm gonna take Luka because there's nobody. I don't think that anybody can really replicate what he does to the
Who can
level
replicate
of
what
what
SGA does.
Well, there's a bunch of players that do what
Not
SGA
the way
does.
he plays
like
offense.
who?
I mean, I could use a name and you're not gonna like it, but when I think about SGA, I think about Paul George. Paul George is an elite talent. He can handle the ball. He can finish. He can shoot. Like everything SGA does, Paul George does. He just can't. He doesn't stay healthy. But when I think about other people who have SGA's style of game, I can think of multiple players that fit there. Anthony Edwards he's an athletic freak and he can score. There's other players that do that too. When I look at Luka, I can't think of another person in the league that's like Luka.
No, not even Jokic.
Right.
Yeah, and Jokic is a different animal, but the same kind of attributes. Like, I'm not leading with my athleticism, and I'm still cooking you. Imagine somebody cooking a turtle beating you in a race. You're like, how is this happening? He's like, no, we going to get there, and he's just going to go do, and you just like, oh, man,
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
See, Anthony Edwards is, I mean, him and SGA are both still young. They're all young. But a lot of their success is based off their speed and athleticism.
Yeah.
The moment that goes away or starts to decline, their whole game declines. Yeah. Luka is already slow.
Well, unless you hit the Kobe switch.
Right, unless you like adapt and change. But Luka already has that now.
Yeah.
So he ain't gonna get much slower.
No.
He can't get much less athletic. He's already at the bottom of the barrel. So his game is either gonna stay great, or he'll get in better shape. He probably not gonna get off athletic, but he can get better shape and his game can go up.
Yeah.
Because even you said, well, he's got to get himself in shape. So that means you even see an upside to where he goes.
I think there's a potential, but he can get slower.
How?
Yeah.
Because if you were slow when you were young, you're gonna be slower when you're older.
Right. But what I'm saying, his game is already based off of being slow.
Yeah.
And he's cerebral with his game. Like, he knows how to get to his spots.
Oh yeah, he cooking them boys.
And he knows how to create space without athleticism. So to me, a person who can just beat you mentally is the better player.
Now, but I have to push back on your grading, because you said you have Luka first, and you're the teacher that I didn't like, but this is how we grew up. We grew up with y'all. Did y'all grow up like this? I don't know what the PS's. Did y'all have achievement and effort? Y'all remember that? The report cards.
Different type of award,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so I am not a fan, and you did it and you do it. I'm not a fan of somebody telling me how hard it was for them to get there, therefore I give them more credit. I don't care.
I did that.
Yeah, you say like this. Well, look, he's not even athletic. He's slow. He doesn't. Look how tough it is for him, and he's still. So I'm like, but what's the achievement? So SGA's achievement, is it higher than Luka's? Probably not in offensive, but if you want to really respect both ends of the court, if we gave a value metric for offense and defense,
it was higher offensively.
Higher. This year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was talking about career. But yeah, this year for sure. So the point is, we can't give Luka credit because it's harder for him, because either God or his laziness, whatever it is, has made it harder for him.
Well, I didn't say it's because he's better because it's harder for him. I just said he's better because he's better. I think he's a better offensive player, period.
So his achievement is even better.
Yeah, I think he's just better as an offensive player.
What about
the fact, I'm saying on top of that, when you add the fact, like, and he's out of shape. And
but
he's
what
doing
about
that
a basketball player, not an offensive player? What as a that means both ends.
Well, no, both ends. I would probably take Anthony Edwards over him. But again,
and SGA, no. He Luka doesn't even get a
believe in
defensive grade.
SGA's defense like that. I know you think he's a better defender. I mean, anybody's a better defender than Luka. But I mean,
but how much?
SGA's not like shutting people down. Yeah. He's really out there for his offense. He's got a bunch. They got a bunch of defenders around him. So it makes him look good.
No, he can hold his own one-on-one. Luka can't.
You know why? Because he's got great wing defenders on the side of him. So that always makes you look better. Like, if you look at, it's like Allen Iverson back in the day. Allen Iverson wasn't a great one-on-one defender, but he used to lead the league in steals at one point in time. It wasn't because he was great at that, but he had two great defenders on the side of him with Eric Snow and Aaron McKee. So you wouldn't want to go that direction. So what it would do is force him into positions where he would get easy steals. It's not that he was a great defender. So that's what they do with SGA.
I don't know, Blaze.
You're
saying that like Aaron McKee and who was the other one?
Eric Snow.
No, that's what they were there for.
That's literally what they were there for.
But they had their own men to stick. They weren't just hanging around backing up
lesser
Iverson.
offensive players too.
Right, exactly. So you're saying they had their own guys, but you got to remember, Iverson, let's say they're playing against the Nets at the time. Well, Iverson is guarding Marbury. That's the offense right there. So if they got to guard whoever else McKee and Snow is guarding, is not really an offensive threat like that. Yeah. So they're allowed to cheat and help out on him, which makes his numbers better. Okay. So I think that happens with SG. I think he's a formidable defender.
No, who are the wing guys you're talking about? Who's the Eric Snow, Aaron McKee on the Thunder?
What's his name?
You got Dort. I'll give him that. But
Lou Dort. They put Lou Dort on.
Jalen Williams is not.
Jalen Williams is a good defender. That's what he's there for.
More offense than defense.
I think it's pretty 50-50 with Williams. Like he's there, and the other Jalen Williams on the team, they also have him there solely for defense.
When he's in there. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
didn't play that much anymore.
he didn't play much this past series, but he played series before that. So I think it just, basketball is about fit. It's certain certain teams you're gonna play these guys, and other teams you're gonna play them. Yeah. Williams is gonna get a lot of play this game because he's a big. Like the other Williams that wasn't playing.
Yeah.
He's like 6'10", I
J.
think.
Will. Yep.
Yeah.
So if those three were lined up, you would actually take Luka.
Yeah.
But you don't believe him? He said it 9 times.
I'm trying to give him a chance.
So this
No, because
Luka to me reminds me of the Phoenix Suns of the 2000s. He'll take a team far, but I don't see him
Luka
winning
just
at all.
took a team to the finals.
To the finals.
Last year, while Ant Edwards and SGA were also in the league.
At the crib.
Right.
Yeah.
So we ain't going to, I get you want to say Luka's out of shape.
Don't do
but
that.
this guy just did that. He's gone further than both of them numerous times.
Who did Luka have on his team last year?
Who you want to say Kyrie?
Yeah, Kyrie. He had
legit 3-and-D guys.
Yeah, but we know Luka was still the
3-and-D.
top dog. He was still the dog, the big dog.
But he had 2 3-and-D guys. He had Kyrie.
He had 2 7-footers.
And he had
Didn't
2
Kyrie get hurt?
7-footers.
Didn't Kyrie get hurt last year too?
I think so.
If I remember
and
correctly.
this is wrong. We got like it's impossible. Nobody's situation gonna be the same. So
Right.
it's like
It's always gonna be
Yeah,
fast.
it's always gonna be like I got a better player. LeBron has had how many
had
All-Stars?
Kyrie,
Multiple Hall of
D-Wade.
Famers.
And Hall of Famers, and then Jordan didn't have it. It's like, all right, like call the GM then.
That's why I said, who's the top dog on the team? Because
Yeah,
at the end of
who
the day,
that
you're
dog?
the one that's still carrying them. You could say he had Kyrie and everybody else, but if Luka ain't there, they not in the finals.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I got to give him that.
Well, let's transition to we were talking about fit and who's the better player. I don't think the conversation with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark is about who's the better player, but are they gonna fit in the WNBA together? Because it seems like they both want the throne, and one has the throne, and the other one is clawing to get the throne, I should say, and that's Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. There's a conversation about the hatred that they have between each other, which I want to hear what y'all have to think about it. But does Angel Reese hate Caitlin Clark is the convo. And this all comes off of Angel Reese pushing the teammate of Caitlin Clark out the way. And Caitlin Clark like, you're not going to call that ref? Okay, I got to foul her. She falls down, and then she does the walk behind her. Caitlin Clark about faces, and that's the smoke. And that turned into a civil rights conversation that we're going to have right now about how deep is the love or hate between those two. What are you thinking, Richie?
Man, I think I think it's bigger to Angel Reese than it is to Caitlin Clark.
That's pretty obvious.
That's pretty obvious. And I think at some point somebody is gonna pull Angel Reese's coattail and say, "Hey, that's the golden goose, right? And we don't. If you kill the golden goose, we're not gonna get no eggs no more.
Yeah.
And you're not the golden goose. And I think players need to understand that. Everybody ain't the same.
Right.
Like
none of y'all the same. I mean, everybody.
Everybody.
Right. All of them.
And I thought that reaction, it felt a little bit of theatrics to me. It didn't feel. It felt like she had to do it. You know what I mean? It wasn't that big of a foul. It wasn't a two-hander. She hit the ball in the arm on one and pushed her with the other, and Angel Reese flew around like it was a hurricane. You know what I mean? You much bigger
Dorothy
than
and Oz.
right? What are you looking for your red slippers?
Yeah.
And it felt like a lot of theatrics to me. And I was like, okay, she's not really feeling that.
Yeah.
You ain't really about to swing on Caitlin Clark, so why act like it?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. Why act like that?
So I don't think she hates Caitlin Clark. I do think there's a level of jealousy because she feels like she should have that spot, that all the attention that Caitlin Clark gets. And to be fair, she should, only because equally the reason why they're getting the ratings they're getting is because of both of them. Like, as great as Caitlin Clark is, Caitlin Clark was playing college ball for several years, and there wasn't a lot of hoopla about her until that moment of when they faced off with LSU, in Iowa, and then all the energy that came from that, and then that has carried over from then into the WNBA. So I think they're both. It's like the whole Bird Magic thing. Obviously, the skill level is different, but it's the allure. I think the second part of that, where Caitlin Clark, what Angel Reese doesn't like, is not that she doesn't like Caitlin Clark. I think she doesn't like the fan base that's behind Caitlin Clark, because her fan base, is middle America, and there's a whole lot of racism and a whole lot of things that get said about her.
Yeah,
and I think
after the game,
right, and I think Caitlin Clark just kind of catches that smoke from Angel Reese, because she can't fight every fan that's saying that, but I think she just kind of puts them in the same lane, like, these your people, and I think that's what really plays into it.
That's not mature though. And
I didn't say it was mature. They're young too.
Yeah, and that's not right. I mean, you ain't that young.
They're young enough.
That whoever,
like 22.
Whoever roots for you in charge of them. Like, what the fuck?
No, I'm not saying she's saying that blatantly. I think it's a subconscious thing. I don't think that's the
get
the
conscious.
Mindset. That's easier said than done. You could tell your 22-year-old self a lot of things that you didn't think at that time.
Yeah, but there are also levels of things that I thought at that time, and this one is within that realm of understanding. We trying to dance around it, not us, but this world. Caitlin Clark has what Angel Reese wants. Yep. Versus, does Angel Reese have what Caitlin Clark wants? There's nothing, right? Like, if you you start there. So hate is strong, but let's walk towards it. We could say jealous.
That's what I said.
And I know. And then we could say envy. Then it's like, well, hey, right here. What stops you from hating her? Because when, and RG3, we're going to talk about that, RG3 and Ryan Clark stuff. But when I've seen Angel Reese get choke slammed by some girl out the air, boom, and then jump up with no smoke, that's all right. Maybe that's your homegirl, you know what I mean? But right now y'all competing, whatever it may be. But when Caitlin Clark just obviously is going to intentionally foul you, and somebody made a good joke. They was like, he should have let her shoot. She's probably going to miss. Probably going to miss it.
She's going to miss it anyway. Wasted a foul.
And look, do not think I hate either one of these people, but they are athletes, and all athletes gets these jokes. Angel Reese is looking at Caitlin Clark way too much, wanting too much of what she is and what she got. And that's why when she got up, it was like doing the whole, what's up, hold me back and all that. And it's like, you can do that. That's just, they all do hold me back. But you only do it with her like that. And I've seen her do it in Unrivaled, and I've seen her do it before, but she puts the extras on it for Caitlin Clark. And every time, remember when Caitlin Clark got intentionally fouled and knocked out the air and hurt almost, and then who's on the sidelines clapping? Have you ever seen somebody, y'all remember that? Yeah. The girl got hurt, it looked like, and she's on the ground, and Angel Reese is pumping it up. If that ain't hate,
there's a little something. There's some hate.
That's
but
hate.
I think that's also competition.
But it goes back to jealousy too. It's a mix of hatred, jealousy, and we're talking about this incident where, it's narrative too. It's an overreaction. But if we played 2-on-2, we're on the court.
What's team first?
We're on. If I'm with Richie,
don't matter. Our team wins.
We got it.
I'm with Richie. Okay. I'm with Richie. Just as with Marcellus, we're all 20 years old. We're all 20 years old. We're in our primes, right?
Oh yeah.
We're playing in a league. Okay, we're buddies. But if you foul me, hit me hard, I'm shoving you to the floor. That's how I played. I didn't care if you were my friend. In the middle of the game competition, you're shoving the other person. It's competition. That's not hatred. I don't hate you. Game's over, and all right, game's over. Cool.
Yeah, that's the point. That's what Angel Reese doesn't do.
Her post-game comment wasn't hatred. She said, hey, the refs called the way it was.
No.
She did say that.
But the way she said that was like,
there was
like,
no
I'm gonna say
hatred
this
behind it.
No, the way she said that was like, I'm going to say this because I have to say it this way, and I don't want to get in trouble.
How about this? I'm not even doing that.
She was just, she gave that dead eye look. The rest didn't come. Next.
Yeah.
That wasn't genuine.
That
wasn't genuine.
I saw a clip where she was like, it was a basketball foul.
Yeah.
What else? Next. Move on.
But hold on. All this is true. And we can isolate a moment. Me and you playing against each other. We homies. And then that happens and we have our little dust up. We good. We don't have other references and other moments and years of history to show that wasn't just an isolated game. That wasn't just an isolated moment. And that's the problem, I think, with Angel Reese right now. and this is the problem with all of our sports and sports media. It's hard to have recall of all of the stuff that is truly the ammunition of why somebody says it. So when someone does come out and say, I think she hates her, you don't know if that person remembers all 8 of the times. You may only remember, well, in the game she did that, and then she just said nothing in the press conference. What about when she's clapping when she's hurt? What about the time she walked up in her face and doing all that? And like all of those things chip away at it. So it's a death by 1,000 paper cuts.
It's jealousy. It's more jealousy.
Yeah.
Reese was the champion. There's still that image of what did she do to Caitlyn, right? Mm-hmm. Hand in her face, showing the
Caitlyn
finger.
did it first.
Well,
Caitlyn did it first.
And that's my, so I'm not to cut you, but that's why I said jealousy. But
jealousy. No, that's what I'm going back. It's jealousy, not hatred. She won a championship, and she's not getting the same kind of fame as Caitlyn's getting. Nor does she deserve it.
Okay, let's define jealousy
the same
and hate.
level of attention either.
Attention.
I think.
Hold on. Okay, look, I give away like words like you a hater. You hating. You hate her. And you may be like, no, I don't. I'm just jealous. I'm like, look, tomato.
Hate her and hater are two different things.
And hate her.
To say, yeah, that's
Hate her.
That's what I said. Like
She hates her.
You hate her,
I'm
and you're just a
asking.
hater. It's two different things. I don't think she hates her. I think she's a hater.
Hold on.
If she truly hated her, there's
Like,
no
there's a
way the
difference
two
in
of them
that.
would have played in the All-Star game together. Remember, they played together in the All-Star
You
game.
know how many people I played with that?
I ain't like.
And they're planning
Not
on
hate. I
playing
don't hate
together
them.
on that U.S. Olympic team in 2028.
That's nothing that
Yeah,
that's nothing you control.
Thomas didn't play with Jordan for a reason. That was real hate.
Because Jordan controlled it.
Yeah,
Jordan
said I wouldn't play with him.
Hey.
Caitlyn Clark got the vote. Watch what happened to Angel Reese.
I don't know. I don't think Caitlyn Clark would say no.
She wouldn't because she don't hate her.
well,
But
Angel
if
Reese
Angel
would.
Reese
She
would,
might say no.
she'd be like, she a rookie last year. Like, something like that. Here's my thing. If you look at it, someone that has what you want, someone who's more popular than you, and you, like you said, I started this, which is a weak argument. My coach, I have so many coaches took me to practice. And then when I get drafted, if they come up to me with their hand out talking about you owe me because I took you to practice, I helped you start this, I'd be like, you that ain't how this shit go. Like, so what you started, I finished. And I did everything in between you ain't watching. So we had a magical moment that everyone started to pay attention to me. Good for us. But since that point, good for me or better for me than you, right? So don't give me this whole it started. Good. Something got to make it happen. But then that's like Magic and Bird. Good, they got drafted and both they're in the league. And then it's like Bird, like I'm going. And Magic, like I'm going a little more. And you got to just respect that. If someone has what you want, all that attention, can say no to things that you can't even maybe attain. We don't know behind the scenes.
And if you feel like they're stopping you from getting it.
And I ain't even kicked in with the biggest one. Their fan base, when y'all go at it, they calling you everything under the sun. You don't hate something, her, it, that, or you just jealous? I'm sorry. If this was my sister, I'd be like, you
jealous. I don't think she hates her.
Well, I mean,
Because I've also seen her.
her.
I've also seen her speak highly of Caitlyn Clark, and I've also seen them like communicate, and it didn't look like I can't stand this person. I think all the things you just listed, though, she's jealous of those things, which is the same thing that I was saying. Yeah. So
we really, the word hate really got this whole thing ignited. If he would have said jealous, you think this wouldn't be the same conversation? Because a lot of this spurred off.
I think she's jealous.
No, I'm saying, but the headlines was RG3, and we ain't gonna go to RG3 yet. RG3 says that Angel Reese hates Caitlyn Clark. If he would have said Angel Reese is jealous of Caitlyn Clark, do we get to the same place?
Yeah, I think that title was just clickbait.
Okay.
So I think either way, because both of their fan bases are very strong. Caitlyn Clark's is bigger because it's Middle America, so it's a bigger fan base. But I think because there's always going to be that like racial undertone between the two of them.
Hold on, we can't
not
go
between
that way.
them, but between the fan bases.
We can't go to Middle America versus Blue State or whatever it may be. Like, first, one day we say New York and LA is where you're supposed to be, and then it's like, no, Middle America is where the base is. Like,
well, she played in Iowa. She has a strong, when I'm saying Middle America, she has a strong white fan base, and a lot of it is Middle America. Now, yeah, she has fans in like blue or red states, but I think the majority of that push from like her backing is like very Middle America.
Angel Reese, you ever watch Scooby-Doo?
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese reminds me of a Scooby-Doo villain. oh, those pesky kids. I would have gotten away with it if it weren't
If they
for them.
weren't for them.
And Caitlin Clark is her pesky kids. Like, she's the one that's holding Angel Reese back from getting whatever it was that she feels like she's due. So I think that probably is some hate. I think it's
skill
probably
level
a
is
little
what holds her
deeper.
I
back.
was thinking more Batman and Joker, that rivalry. Do they hate each other? No. Do they need each other? Yes. You know,
It's really Bird and Magic. It's like the same thing, minus the fact that Caitlyn is just a lot better, a better skilled player.
Is Angel Reese good enough to be Bird to?
I saw
to
a
Magic?
meme
Well, that's what I said.
that said
She good enough to make it. So.
this is an NBA. They said describe this in NBA terms, and then somebody had a meme of Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark right next to each other, and they said, "Yeah, it's Andre Drummond jealous of Steph Curry," and that's what this is. And I'm like, I don't know if Angel Reese is Andre Drummond level, because I used to think he was great, and then but Steph Curry and Caitlin, that's kind of like symmetrical right there.
LeBron and Deshaun Stevenson. You
Yes.
remember they were
Yes.
beefing. It's like y'all not even the
same.
Or was it Lance?
No, the Lance thing was just like
Blowing in
child's
his ear.
play, yeah. But him and Deshaun Stevenson, they had like a little beef at a certain point in time. But
Why are you stopping short? Why are you stopping short? What is hate?
I got to give Angel Reese her credit though, because she does deserve the same amount of attention as Caitlin Clark does.
Where?
You
Based
say
on
she
what?
does?
Based
If
on
you're not
what?
the same level
why?
player,
She does
How,
because
Sway?
I think she brings an element to the game that
Energy?
Caitlin Clark doesn't. So like Caitlin Clark, where she's strongest at is what she does on the court. And I think Angel Reese's biggest presence is off the court. They both bring people to watch, the few that do. But the fact those people that watch, the people that watch for those reasons. Like the NBA, the WNBA has shifted their whole presentation because of Angel Reese. So like you see how they got the cameras now where they do the fashion camera and the whole walk up in the tunnel with the thing and all. They were never doing that in the WNBA before because none of them were really like feminine and on that level. When she started coming in and doing all the real feminine red carpet type of vibe, they literally shifted their marketing to that. So she is a big facet or factor, I should say, in the WNBA. But I
can't hold you to that, but it felt like that was coincidental with the 2 years ago draft, because that was the first time I heard people saying, watch the WNBA draft. Now, people really watch it this year because Caitlin Clark was coming in, because Angel was coming in, and it was like, oh, okay, femininity was coming in. Two heterosexual women that look I don't know. Caitlin don't be dressing. Angel fine, but Caitlin don't be trying. Caitlin got a man, so she ain't tripping. She balled out. She like just be showing up like whatever. But two good looking. Angel's beautiful. Like whoa,
she brought the look. That's what I'm saying. She brought the look. She brought that whole feminine thing. They weren't. You said 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they weren't doing the whole fashion camera and the whole walk up.
But guess who? Every time, like you just said, SGA is always gonna be linked to Luka or Anthony Edwards. You said, sorry, Angel, Caitlin there, and then one gets agitated at the other, and not always, but when there's always an agitation, it's you. It ain't never the other way around. So we can stop short and call it jealous. If it's my kid, if that's Araya, Angel Reese is Araya, I'm saying, come here, leave that girl alone. She got you. It's okay. You great. This is why I hate when I see kids who are down on themselves. And I'm like, you're third in the country. Oh, no, I got to be number one. Yeah, be number one. If you're not, be happy you're number three, because there's 3 billion behind you.
Or 4.
You got to love who you are first. Yeah. And to me, it's really not a lot of self-love. If all the time I can get into it with you, I will get into it with you. That you taking up too much of my sunlight when it's time to go get it, because give it to me. When is the time Caitlin gave her fire? The first time when they did this, that was to the team, I thought, but whatever.
And nobody said anything.
And nobody tripped because it wasn't a thing.
But that's why Angel Reese probably feels the way she does, because I think, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying this is what I think she feels, that wherever there's jealousy or whatever, it's that same whole fan base. Because when she's doing it to us, nobody says nothing. Now I do it to her, and we beat them. And all y'all doing, instead of talking about what we did to win or how we are the better team, all y'all doing is insulting me and calling me everything under the sun.
Okay.
So now as we go up to the next level, I'm like, well, when I beat her, y'all didn't give me my accomplishments.
Because
and now we're here, and y'all are still trying to throw me under for all these different reasons that really have nothing to do with
Do you remember those
basketball.
2 moments? Because a lot of people don't. Araya, come here. Sit down. Y'all didn't do it the same. Like, this is what happens a lot of times, especially in our arguments and culturally. It's not the same. Caitlin Clark did this and was like, yeah. Angel Reese did this. You're going to see this. Walked her down. Was like walking like, and look, dog.
It always happens like that when you're the second, though.
No,
If
it don't always.
The reaction is always going to be bigger than the initial thing that started.
No, you're going to get more heat. You're going to get caught probably, blah, blah, blah. But you still didn't do the same thing. So you're going to get a different reaction because you did a different thing. Like, I can't sit over here right now and I go like this. And you were like, what's wrong with him? His shoulder hurt. But if I come over there and I go like, you like, hey, dog. And now you're going to say, well, it's the reaction. No, it's about, I did something different. I don't know why they didn't start that conversation off with like, yo, chill. You did something different. She got a flagrant taunt, and Caitlin just got a general foul taunt. And I think that's what started it.
Spike yells at Reggie. Reggie comes up the court with the choke.
The choke.
The reaction's always gonna be bigger. Like if you talking trash to me, or let's say you make a shot and you eyeball me because you just made a shot over me. Well, now in the next play, if I make a shot over you, it's gonna be more than just an eyeball. My reaction is gonna be a little more turned up since you initiated this interaction. So again, I think she kind of got the raw end.
What? Well, then we grew up going like this, and then you go. Like, it wasn't like.
Yeah, when you 5, but when you get older, it gets a little, more aggressive.
You got to do the same thing.
Let's talk about the game part. Caitlin's game does the talking for her. Is Angel even the best player on her team?
Well, that's never a fair
is she even the best player on her team?
Caitlin's better than her, but they also play 2 very different positions. You're talking about a big versus a guard. So they'll never.
But that's like us comparing.
Shaq didn't care about that when he played with Kobe.
Comparing the Joker to SGA for MVP. Two completely different players.
Nobody cares about.
Yeah.
See, these are all the crutches we give Angel Reese for whatever. I don't know.
I'm not giving her no crush. I'm just saying they just play very different positions. So what Angel is great at, what Caitlin Clark is great at, a lot of that helps because of the position she plays. She's very ball dominant. The ball's in her hand all the time. When you're big, you got to wait for somebody to give you the ball. So I think.
But you're gonna have
Aja Wilson may be better than Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
But she doesn't get that same love and attention because guards always are gonna get more love because they got the ball in their hand more.
If things are equal.
If it's equal.
But things are not equal. And there's never a good look. When you're not the better player, you're always agitated at that player. Like when does it work? See, Jordan controlled the Isaiah argument because he was Jordan. He hated on Isaiah, and no one cared because he was better. But we got the flip. We're watching right now. Angel, you doing jealous, envious, hating on the girl who better than you. That never wins.
But that's also the role she's playing. I think of like who Dylan Brooks is in the NBA. When does he get media attention? He's not that good, but he gets a lot of media coverage for who he is.
He's
the
villain.
Antics in the courtroom.
The villain.
I call it antics, but the villain role. But he's a great teammate if you watch him with his teammates. Getting to,
what I got to do with Angel Reese, though?
I don't No, I'm just the villain role, and he's in the spotlight.
She didn't want the villain role, but
he's
she
on
wanted
something
it.
there though, because sometimes I think she's smart enough to know, even though she doesn't want it, this my bread and butter. So I think she actually plays into that villain role, just like that first year LeBron went to Miami and everybody was hating on him, and what did he do? He played into the villain role, and he later admitted, I shouldn't have did. That wasn't my thing. Like I shouldn't have did.
She wanted to do it, the villain role, because it was on her, and then she also said, I don't like it.
Right. I think she don't like it, but she knows that's her bread and butter.
She knows I got to do it. Yeah. I'm Draymond or whatever it may be.
She doesn't have to, but that's how she's going to get her attention.
Yeah, because she don't have the skill set to match it. So she got to do something.
So we're really not talking about how they feel about each other. We're talking about how their fan bases feel about each other.
That's what I said out the gate. I said I don't think.
No, you said that she's mad at her fan base. Like Angel's mad at Caitlin's fan base. But is Caitlyn mad at Angels? I have never heard that.
No, I said I don't think she because you said that she hated her. I said I don't think she hates her. I think it's the fan base between the both of them that like her fan base that drives that type of energy.
Yeah.
I don't think she has a personal problem with Caitlyn. She just don't like how the people behind her push certain narratives.
Man, too many incidents for me. Sorry.
It's a lot of incidents and a lot of theatrics, which made me have to start thinking through that. And why is it that you do theatrical shit? Do you think Angel feels a pressure to counterbalance for black people?
How about she's a woman?
Because Caitlyn is, you know, this white girl in the NBA who's coming in and dominating it. Do you feel maybe Angel feels a pressure that she has to represent for black folks for some odd reason?
Oh yeah, we've seen that.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I speak from
Just some odd reason.
fair,
It's for being, always being the underrepresented group in the WNBA.
Who?
Right?
Black women ain't underrepresented.
Underrepresented from being sponsored, getting the same kind of attention that Caitlyn's getting.
Right.
Well, they got it at first, and then the league, everybody started watching, and then they were like, oh.
Because I mean,
They got it in 97.
Angel's getting her. She got the fucking McDonald's burger named after her.
Yeah,
you know,
she's not losing.
But for some odd reason that she feels like she has to act a certain way.
Well, I'm with Eugene. Eugene called it, and he said, I don't know if it's our reason. We all know black people got this, let's call it a dynamic of I want to be down. And so they want to be down even when they up. They want to look down. That's why you go everywhere. I could blind taste test black people. I don't care what they got. They're going to tell me the least amount of what they got. And this is most people I actually found outside of black, but I know it intimately being black. Everybody want to be from the most hood. Everybody. This is why I laugh at cats. This is why, because I'm like, ain't nobody Wikipedia more ghetto than mine. That's why I could be as crazy as I want to be. You can't say shit. I'm from Compton. You don't raise your hand and say I want to be born in Compton, but you are. So then when they start talking all this, like, I'm from it, I'm like, all right, me too, but I act cool. You act all hard. Then they start going into this whole, like, well, I'm dark. I'm big and dark. Like, so your microaggressions, whatever they may be, good luck beating mine if they're existing, right? So then I beat them there. Then they start going into, oh, well, shoot. And then a lot of times the black down person, the activists, whatever it may be, got some more white in their world, whether they're half white, whether they're living in a white neighborhood, and then whatever it may be. And I'll be like, I got a black wife, you know what I mean? Like, let it be. Got little kids, you know what I'm saying? And then I try to take all the excuses off the board.
But she's Canadian.
Yeah, she is Canadian. True.
I thought that.
Yeah. She is true. Canadian bacon.
I thought you was gonna shoot that earlier.
Yeah. So she ain't from Compton, huh? Somebody gonna get me. They're gonna have a girl from Compton. It's gonna be a rap. I'm gonna be second place. But the point is, I'm like, people be wanting to sound down, and then when they make it, they always want. I'm gonna kick it here. I'm gonna hang with this, and I'm gonna do this. All the BS stuff. I think she's plaguing into that. Maybe it's because she's young still.
Yeah, and I think that all ties into what I'm thinking, because it's. There's something there. There's some kind of a disconnect that it feels like it's making her feel like she has to act a certain way.
She's acting black. If you are black, that is the act. And this is what happens when a black person wants to skateboard. A black person wants to be corny. A black person wants to be anything outside of the code. All of a sudden, you get the counter of somebody like, oh, you ain't black. You ain't acting black.
To be fair, could it be that this is just how she's always been? This is just who she is. Because we don't really know who's like. I mean, it's not like high school male players where you see them from young and you can kind of watch their mannerisms. Like most don't really pay attention to junior high school female basketball players, even if they're super elite. There's like there's a few. Like Paige was one of those, but there's a very few. So maybe she's just always been like this, but now because she's on center stage and with all the spotlights on her, it's like, oh, she's acting like this. No, she might be who she is.
No, I get it. It's still, no matter what we say, and this is what's bad about it, it's targeting Caitlyn. Maybe because she's, the queen. So, you want, take a shot at the queen, don't miss. So she like, I ain't gonna miss. I'm gonna keep taking shots until I hit her. But there's something with that dynamic more than anybody else. Because when I see you get chokeslammed by other people and you just like, whatever, what up, girl? I'm like,
I do think it's a combination of youth and media. I think the media paints the narrative, and they constantly push that agenda, and she's reading it all day. She's seeing it all day. And then she gets to these games, and like, oh, so what's going on with you and Caitlyn? What are you going to do? And I feel like they build it up so much.
But they're asking Caitlyn the same question.
I know, but that's where youth, there's a lack of maturity.
They're the same age.
Yeah, but you could be the same age, but not have the same level of maturity.
Well, okay, so we're saying she's immature. If you
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not justifying
I
her
know.
reactions. I'm just saying I think what's going on is, and she's a female's emotions that played into it. Some are more high strung than others. I think you take all those things.
You done went everywhere. Everything you can say, I can say that about most of the WNBA, including Caitlyn, and they looking at her like this is what's so bad.
But these all are things that apply.
But they don't apply because everybody's going through the same stuff.
But when you have all those things, but then the difference is the maturity level, that makes a difference. You can have two people that are going through the same thing, but one can handle it like nothing's going on, and the other one is losing their mind.
Oh yeah, Steph is on the same team with Draymond. We get it. And
Right.
It's like,
So that's what I'm saying. I think the difference is the maturity. I think she's going through all of this that's happening, but she's just not able to channel it the way.
But don't we call? I mean, Draymond said we call him an angry black man, but we certainly call him crazy and a dirty basketball player. But then when it comes to it comes to Angel Reese, it's like, oh well, she may be a little jealous. She may, like call it like you see it.
Well, Draymond has done things that warrant us calling him a dirty basketball player.
And she's done
Caitlyn,
things.
She hurt anybody, stomped on someone's chest.
Oh no.
Her biggest fault is that she can't make a layup.
No. Yeah,
that's her own fault.
Angel Reese has shown us things that is showing you hating Caitlyn Clark. No. Maybe.
I don't think she's showing anything that shows she hated. I just think it may be jealousy or it's just competitive nature. Hard fouls are basketball. Like I don't
No,
read
I'm not
too
talking about
much
hard
into
foul.
that.
And Caitlyn hard fouled her.
Right.
But Caitlyn, people gonna hit you way harder. You ain't chase them down the court. I wonder why.
In your playing days, was there maybe a person that anytime you saw on the field, you just wanted to get him?
No.
Just no.
I don't look at sports like that, and maybe that's a good thing or bad thing. Some people say it's good because I made it, and some people say it's bad. You could have made it further. But I'm like, I don't need all that fake shit to be like whooping your ass. No, I can laugh and kill you. Like I walk around with a martial arts mindset. Like I'm good. Like if we're trying to turn it on, wow, and your ass is gone. And then you're like, damn, where'd that come from? No, how you doing? But that's me. Some other guys got to go somewhere. I don't like your mama, your family. I'm like, all right, but we're going to get to the same place. Like I'm just going to take a smoother road. But that doesn't mean I'm better or worse. It just means I am. I just know that when I did, if I ever walked on the field, I was like, him. You could call it jealous. I'm hating something. Why him? Like, why him? That's where I get lost in that, and I'm like, until you prove otherwise, I think that's hate because we jealous. There's people making way more money than you could be jealous of anything in this world because there's people up above you in all things, right? So I think it comes off a little different,
and that's when you get off your game too. You
Yeah.
start targeting one person and thinking you need to play different for
Gotta
that
play
one
them.
person,
Yeah.
then you get off your game like that real quick.
yeah. Man,
You also don't have the game to back it up. So I think that, again, plays into your mindset. Because if you know I can't really compete with this person, then you start doing a bunch of other stuff that you probably shouldn't do just to kind of stay on that same level.
And that's the Draymond formula. I swear he was one day like, this is how I'm going to stay in this league. I'm going to give it to him, right? And he did a general, like all of them, whatever they need to do, right, to the echo of the whistle. And I think that whether we know it for sure yet, Angel Reese has made some kind of calculation, but hers is more targeted. She like, as long as I stay around Caitlyn doing this, that's engagement. That engagement can be looked at as hate. It can be looked at as envy, jealousy. Cast a check. You know what I mean? It's coming with that.
I wonder who's made more off the court. Because I know Caitlyn has deals, but they're usually a lot more quiet. You don't really hear much. Yeah. And then Angel has a bunch of deals. They're usually like she has. They're smaller probably in number, but she has a lot more of them, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see.
That's when it can get weird because I've read articles about it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna regurgitate that because it sounds like Caitlyn is more strategic and turns down more. And then it's like, Angel's just taking whatever she gets. I'm like, these deals are huge. You mean taking whatever she gets? Right. She getting the same level. It's just she got more of them. So that's when I was like, and now if I'm Angel, I'm like, oh, y'all don't give me no credit, right? I got a burger. First woman ever have a burger. First athlete ever. I don't think it was a male either.
And that's that media thing right there I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
They paint the narrative.
Yeah.
One takes whatever she can get, and the other one is so smart and so so calculated. Yeah, she's business savvy.
Oh yeah, that's when you start getting into them cheat code racial terms. Like, oh, he look at him, he's so gifted, and then look at him, he just knows the game. He's like
Dog whistles.
yeah, them dog whistles. I'm like, nah, he know the game too. He's just talented with it.
Right. He's such a smart player.
Such a smart
So
player.
cerebral.
Yeah. Right.
But it's true too sometimes. Like, be real. All them New England receivers, stop it. They were smart. They knew how to play the game. And then you can see somebody go in there and you're like Ocho Cinco didn't do well in New England for whatever reason, right? Didn't last long either. But the point is, you can look at Ocho Cinco and be like, that's tremendous athleticism. And then you got to know he's smart too because he Ocho Cinco. But then you look at Edelman and you're like, that got to be smart because that ain't tremendous
They
athleticism.
did say he was having issues with the playbook though.
Oh, yeah, he did.
They were saying that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that playbook in New England, I heard. I'm glad I didn't go there. I heard it was a playbook. Oh, all right. Let's talk about this right now because this is out the playbook that Ryan Clark, RG3, they took that conversation we just had to a different place. So the beats of it is, as we know, shove Angel Reese to a teammate, Caitlin Clark. You're not going to call that intentional foul. I walk away. Here comes Angel Reese walking me down. RG3 decides to say Angel Reese, hates Caitlin Clark. Gives a video with evidence and all these other times that she's come at her, blah, blah, blah. RG3 on the pivot. Ryan Clark on the pivot says he doesn't hate her. And how would you know what she's going through as a black woman when you go home to a white woman? And you've been going home to 2 white women, and Lord, I can't even get it out. That is gang related. So you've talked, you don't know the black woman and what she's been through, etc. And you know what self-hate is, though. So that turns into, wow. RG3 responds, I can't believe you crossed that line. There is a line, and you sprinted past it. Gave his evidence. He's like, you're a bad human being. RG3 sits back, lets Ryan, this is the last time I checked. It might be 20 more right now. He goes back and says, you were a horrible teammate, RG3, and you're corny. The same old, we back to Rob Parker 20 years ago, like calling him a cornball brother. Cornball brother. I said a mouthful because I just want people to know and catch you up. What are your thoughts on the beef between Ryan Clark and RG3?
That was a wild moment to me. I was like, holy shit. He really went there?
He went there.
I mean, that's going real deep and real foul. And that's like, there's no coming back from that with that other person. And it baffles me. I don't even really know how to digest that.
Yeah.
Because you so rarely hear somebody strike somebody like that, especially if they aren't intimately close and you know that that's how that person is. And RG3 doesn't strike me to be that person that Ryan Clark is saying.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I mean?
What is that person you say?
I mean, some people you know that they just are not messing with their own kind. They may have some self-hate and they may have some things that they just don't want to be associated with it, whether it happens in every race. It happens in every race. But Ryan Clark doesn't he have a kid with the white woman?
Yes, that's how the game started.
So aren't RG3's parents black?
Yep.
He's got 3 sisters,
He's
4
got
daughters.
He's got 4.
Took my whole point.
Right.
Cook Richie.
That's how I was going.
Yeah. So, I mean, really? I mean, I just sat there and looked at it. I was like, really? Really? This is where you're going? This is what you're presenting to the world, Ryan Clark? This is how you're going to talk about another man? Those are words to take you outside and fight. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's that line. That means that you don't give a fuck about me. And you're going to let the world know it. Yeah. And you're trying to change how other people look. He's trying to change how people look at RG3, and I think that's really rotten.
Yeah, and to add to it all, because a lot of the pushback, the supporters of Ryan Clark are saying this. He didn't say anything bad about his wife. He pointed out, matter of facts, like 2 wives, 2 white women. But to your point, that's not what his strong suggestion was. He just used that as a way in, like 2 white women to talk about you not being black enough. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's been. Okay.
I mean, you kind of nailed all of it, because part of what I was going to say was, like, so with with Ryan Clark, I understood where he was trying to go with it. I think where he messed up is when he made it too personal, because you could have still got to that same point going different directions. And when you say, you don't understand the struggle of a black woman because you got a white wife, meanwhile your kid is with a white woman, like you discredited your whole argument just by saying that. Yeah. And 2 is like, it doesn't really matter if you have a white wife or not, because he still has a black mother, he still has a black sister,
black aunties.
Yeah, black aunties, black female cousins, or whoever. So just because you're dating or married to this person now, that doesn't mean you don't understand the struggle of what the people in your family and the women around you have gone through. So I thought it was a weak argument. And like I think I said to you before, usually when people get personal, usually when a person gets personal like that, is because they know they have nothing else to stand on. Their point wasn't strong enough for them to get there with just facts or with other things. Logic. So they got to dig somewhere else just to try to validate what they're saying. But in actuality, all he did was discredit himself.
Where was he
put
going?
More of a spotlight on him.
You said that he could have got there, but he went the wrong way. Where was he going? Like what was his real intention? If he could have perfectly articulated it.
That I'd have to think about, because I think it was a weak argument anyway. But
maybe he got there. It just was weak.
Well, yeah. His point.
It was ad hominem
he
attack.
got to his point because there are people that supported what he was saying. So he got to his point. I think it just didn't go over well. He was just with him trying to say, well, you don't understand a black woman's struggle because you're married to a white woman. Is like you would have been better off saying you don't understand a black woman's struggle because you're a black man. Like that would have still did the exact same thing.
Great point.
That now. On the flip side, people would say, well, you're a black man too.
So how you know?
But it's the same thing they did.
How you know what you don't know?
But it's the same thing they did when they said, well, your kid is with a white woman.
Yeah.
It's literally the same, like the same argument. So I'm saying, like, that's one way he could have went a different route without being disrespectful.
Yeah. Disrespectful. What do you feel, Eugene?
Was it RG3 or was it Ryan Clark that there's a little more to just not understanding the plight of the black woman? There was something about why do we protect, not we here, but there's an element of why are black female athletes being protected from the same criticism we'll give a black male athlete, right? So if Angel Reese is not a good player, call her out for what she's not a good player versus, the way we're, like we got protect her, or not protect her, but we're not speaking the full, the truth behind it. I don't know if that was Ryan Clark's point or RG3's point.
I don't know I didn't catch that in this interaction, but that may be a global point, or they may have hit that before. But to your point, one of the things I know I get in trouble with is I live in that spirit. Like, if you suck, you suck. If you're great, you're great. Whatever you want to call that. Like, who am I to say it? I'm just saying I'm going to say what needs to be said. And I look at it like, when you start trying to protect people, you actually restrict them, because you got them in the handicap lane. You got them now in the special ed class. Like, careful, don't tell them they can't handle it. And it's like, no matter what you went through, if you survived it, you're stronger. You're strong enough to at least survive it. So you're strong enough to grow from it. And I look at culture at large, and people do that all day, every day. They almost say, and I have this conversation with my wife or others, it's like, well, they've been through so much, so don't pile on or don't give them any more smoke. And it's like, but I watch white people, white America, whatever you want to call it, popular culture, destroy each other every day, and they don't give a damn because they like, yo, we good. Like, what do you mean? They go at Trump all day, every day on every show. Those white people. I'm talking about white people. You watch Entertainment Tonight. You watch Access Hollywood. You watch all the TMZ. It ain't us like always on. It's like, yep, Harvey Levin just killing another white celeb. Like whatever. Justin Bieber, take it. You know, Britney Spears, take it. And there's not this third rail to it. And to me, that's healthy. Not because it's white. It's because that's how you're supposed to do it. When we get in our protected spaces, that's why I guess we love the barbershop. Like, all right, nobody here? All right. Hey, man. You know what I mean? That a man should be in front of every man, every woman, because then that shows a healthy complex, not an inferiority complex that I think a lot of time plagues us. We out there like, yo, why would you even want to lead with, you don't know what a black woman been through in the WNBA? Like, what? That's not even a point. What have they been through? They the majority of a league that has had its ups and downs and more downs than ups. And so now I don't understand that. You're right, because I'm RG3. I was pick number 2. Like, I was a baller, offensive rookie of the year. Like, you know, I don't know all that. I was a track star. You know, like, I wish we could have those conversations because I know both of them differently, but I know RG3 very well. I wish they could just be like, look, man, you call my wife out just so you can say I'm a sellout or some shit. And then if RG3 should be like, look, you got a kid too that is from a white woman, which means you're going to tell your kid she can only talk about some things that are black because she's only some black or half black. Are we doing that? Or she's all black because she's one drop rule? He wrestles himself and chokes himself out with his own argument.
I also want to say, I think it was unnecessary, but I don't think it was super disrespectful. Like, I know you were like, he can't go. I don't know how you come back from this. I don't think it was that extreme.
Talk to me.
Only because he didn't say nothing bad, like you said, about her. And if I remember correctly, I listened to it, I think he even said something nice about her.
Yeah, he did.
So his intent was never to insult the wife. So the way RG3 responded was, like, how dare you bring my family into this? And like, he didn't really say nothing bad about your family. I just think the argument was a weak argument, and it was an unnecessary argument because it didn't push your point. So
his argument,
you don't got to bring somebody's wife into it if it's not actually helping your argument.
He couldn't get to his point without giving the contrast of black and white.
Right.
And so he used her as really a trampoline, a step stool to get to a grander point, even though he may have stepped down instead of stepping up. But he used his wife. Without saying something bad about you, I can say something bad about you because you're just short. No, my point. Like, I can make it. Like,
I feel like you trying to get that off for a while. That was you wanted to say that.
Cross the line,
right? Yeah, like,
you got a great jump shot for a short dude.
Yeah.
He was holding that in.
But that's my point.
I'm above average male height. I just want to say that because the cameras can't tell.
But the point is, that's not even sophisticated. That's out of bounds because it's like, look, if I'm trying to show that you don't get what these sisters are going through, I got to take inventory of the sisterhood in you and around you, and knowing that you came from a sister, and then knowing that you came from a sister, Ryan. So what we doing here? We even. Oh, I'm married to a white woman. So you brought life into this world with a white woman. You gonna act like that's nothing? No, that ain't the same because I ain't married her. You really, like, I would have pressed his ass. I was like, admit. And it's always these fractured black people like that got that white something loud in their background make them say, shut the white off. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got a baby from a white woman or they married. And I'm like, that ain't a reason to be more black. You just black as you are. Be black.
I'm actually a little disappointed in RG3. Because I know he took the high road with how he responded, but man, he could have cooked. He could have finished him with the right response because he has so much leverage. Like everything we saying, he could have said that on the spot, and it would have just killed Ryan Clark's whole point and credibility with a lot of things.
Doesn't that speak volumes about RG3 as a former quarterback?
Well, yeah, I
teammate?
mean, it shows great character of him. But when if you feel somebody's going low, you ain't got to show character in that moment.
They're crossing the line. Yeah,
that's where I'm learning from y'all, actually. Like I always say, like, I live on the high road, but I rent on the low road. Because there's been a few times I'm like, hey, dog. Like, I give a chicken wing in Vegas like none other. Like, you messing with me? All right, man. I don't need no security. Just Yeah, I said, and then they're like, damn, dog. I was like, yeah, it could get uglier over here. But I don't like low road because I don't like how I feel when I'm down there. I don't like what could happen when I'm down there. I'm always thinking somebody gonna shoot me. I'm not. We're gonna talk about that too, and Antonio Brown, et cetera. But I am never. As soon as I see any heightened anxiety, tension, I'm thinking somebody about to get shot. And that may be my childhood trauma and all those issues. But the point is, I am not losing my life because we disagreed. Like, you got me fucked up. But that is a moment. If he would have called my wife out,
You would have laughed.
I would have laughed and I would have called my cousins and they would have fucked him up.
You don't think it depends on the context?
I'm just letting y'all know. I got cousins that would do.
Would you really?
I would call my cousins.
You wouldn't have said so?
I would have said so. I would have said so.
Oh, but you would have.
And then it wouldn't have been so deaf. Like,
It'd be Tiki Loco on the line.
oh yeah, I call some family there to be like, say less. I don't know. I wouldn't do that either. But
I don't think you would have did that.
I just think you gotta let somebody know you can't do that to me, dog.
I don't think RG3 knew how to respond to it. He looked
great point.
He looked the same way I feel. Like, what do I even say to this bullshit?
Yeah, you dragging me way
All of
over
a sudden,
there.
I was a black quarterback in the NFL. Of course I went through shit. Of course I understand what it feels like to be underappreciated. Of course I do. And then you're gonna say I don't understand black stuff because my wife is white? That you don't say I do and your shit gets wiped out automatically. I mean, Sidney Poitier had a white wife.
Yeah.
Quincy Jones had a white wife.
Yeah.
You know,
Quincy had a stable.
exactly.
He had a snowball.
And he was, he's soul brother number one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So where's this coming from?
I'm curious about that. So Ryan Clark made that statement. Is there a general feeling within the black community if a black male marries a white female, whether it's self-hate or something, there's some sort of stigma.
You ain't as black as the other guy who
But
didn't.
get in that bag, Eugene.
Yeah.
That's a deep
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're gonna get graded different. You're gonna get graded different.
I mean,
Mainly by women.
You're Korean.
Mainly by black women.
By black
You're
women.
Korean. What happens? It's the same as when a Korean dates or marries outside of the Korean race.
Marries a black guy.
Koreans don't
They look at him
typically
differently.
like that.
That's most
Chinese
Asian
don't
races.
typically like that. Japanese don't typically like that. You know what I mean? It comes with a stigma from their own race.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy
Good
that
point.
you enlightened just now me to looking at off of an intentional foul, we springboard to where RG3 can't say that it looks like Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, and you could disagree or agree. But instead of doing that, you skip past that and say, you don't know about a black woman's plight in the WNBA because you married a white woman. That's where we're going to start. Off of the intentional foul, we're going to forget all the rest of that.
Had nothing to do with it.
And then to start there, we really are pandering and we're putting Angel Reese in some protective bubble of saying she can't be a hater or someone who hates because she's black and she's in the WNBA. And that makes no sense on his face or on his ass. It makes, like, kill who needs to be killed, love who needs to be loved in terms of sports media conversation. But, do you understand that we just wanted to protect her so bad, or he did in pandering, that he actually went at this man's whole family dynamic just because he said that she may hate the other player that she keeps messing with. That's unreal.
I couldn't even. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't even believe it went there. There was no reason at all for it to even go there. It was weird. That's some weird shit.
And that's why I don't fight, because I know that there's always a moment of truth where you're dragging me, or if I'm the instigator, I'm dragging you. But neither one of us, I think, in our deeper spirits want to be there. But, testosterone, being in the moment, and mob mentality, whatever be the forces, you can find yourself out of place. Somebody cuts you off. You're like, what the? Almost wrecked and almost hurt my kids. And it's time to turn up, right? But this one seems so devious and calculated and miscalculated that RG3 is just like giving a sports take. La, la, la. I think people will engage with that. Some people will agree, some won't, whatever. They'll call me corny because they've been calling me corny since Rob Parker, whatever. But I think it was a good take. I got enough ammo to show that maybe she's hating. And then a dude come back at you and just blast your whole family up and blast your wife. That's next level, dog. That's next level.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
And that's what, to your point of Angel Reese may have said, I know who I am in this league. Get at Caitlin Clark here and there, and just the rest look beautiful off the court, get a few rebounds, make a few layups, and watch how famous I am.
Miss a few layups.
Yeah, I mean, she's not in the NBA, she's not in the WNBA because of her skill set at this point. I mean, I think she's there just because of what she brings. Like
You're talking about Angel Reese doesn't deserve to be in the WNBA?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Well, I didn't say she doesn't deserve.
Well, you said
you
she's
trying to
on-
throw
you
me
just
under.
said- you just said that.
I said I don't think she's there because of her skill set,
Damn
like
it.
solely because of her skill
Damn it,
set.
Justin,
One
you
of the
must have a
reasons
white
she
wife.
She's 6'3" with energy, damn it. She in the league for a reason. She can play. She's 6'3" with energy.
I'm saying I don't think she's solely there because of skill set. Some people are in the league or in certain professions because they're a cash cow. Like they bring more eyes, bring more attention, and they're aware of that. They know. Again, they made a whole marketing thing around her based on her showing up to the games in the dresses and like looking great. The WNBA players weren't doing that before.
Yeah.
And she came in and changed the whole narrative, and they built a whole marketing plan behind that. So they understand her value as well, which is also why they know she's not on the same level skill wise as Caitlin Clark. But what do they do whenever the two of them play? They make it a televised game.
Oh, yeah.
And they put all the marketing behind it. So they understand that she too has that same
She's got the
value.
entertainment factor.
Right.
100%.
So that's what I mean. I'm not saying she can't play at all.
No.
But there's more to it. I know.
If
There's
you
more
went
to it.
one-on-one with her, who'd win?
She can't make a layup. I'd destroy her. She's not strong enough, and she can't make a layup. So
Angel, want to see you play
She
one-on-one
don't
against
want
Justin?
this smoke.
She ain't gonna play against him. She don't hate him.
she don't want this smoke.
She only gonna play against
Yeah, she might try to intentionally foul me.
God. One more point on this, because I think what really fueled that was people are so sensitive if you talk about what they like. And that's happening a lot in this world, whether it's you voted for Harris or you voted for Trump. Well, since you voted for who I like, then we're cooler. When I could be an ass, I just voted for the same person for different reasons. And I see that happening. And I also see people divorcing themselves from friends because you voted for somebody I can't stand. So then it turns into like this world of likability. Like all you're doing is looking for your echo chamber of what people like that you like, right? Instead of like, oh, you like that? I like this. All right, well, go over there and I'll go over here. Or I'll go there with you one time. You come over here with me one time. So Caitlin's fan base, Angel Reese's fan base, RG3, Ryan Clark basically saying, I love Angel Reese. That's a sister. Even though I love that white woman, that let me stop.
That beautiful milk of magnesia.
People gonna be like if you mad at me for what you did, you got a problem. You can't say nothing about me that I'm gonna be like, man, fuck you. I'm like, no, you're right. Keep going. I'm beautiful, yes, in shape, yeah. He hates that man because look, I got take up for this sister who went to LSU, who went through so much. Do you know how much money she makes? You know how much money she's like, my apartment costs more than this.
Probably more than Ryan Clark.
Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Real, probably.
Definitely.
At least when she was in college, for sure.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
No, she
Make
making
more. She making more now.
Yeah. She beat me and Ryan together.
She getting to
She
it.
eating. And like how once again, want to be down. How long we gonna act like Angel Reese is down? She up. She way up.
She winning.
She winning. And but we got that syndrome of wanting to be down. Crazy. All right. Let's speak of AB. Oh boy. All I know is I saw 3 videos. One of AB, and I didn't know it was AB. They were fighting. Then there was another video of him going around a truck and this white girl, and they giggling, and she giggling, and he ain't, and he walking away with some big moon boots on. And then I saw another video. It was a tack, 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 tack. I was like, shooting? And then you slow-mo, you could see AB look like he had that thing with him. And he supposedly let shots off. What's y'all reaction to AB, this whole saga, and what just happened?
Well, he lives in the one state that may arguably be a better place to live than LA or New York, which is, well, I said state, but he lives in Miami. So state of Florida. And you got that stand your ground law there. True. So if it's on video that these dudes are jumping you and trying to rob you, if that's what you got to do to get them up off you, then you got to do what you got to do. Now, at first when I saw, I'm like, AB being AB. He's doing something without thinking and just going off the edge, just being crazy. But when I watched it and I saw them actually like jumping on him, and he looked to be by himself, because I didn't see nobody else like jumping in to help him. I saw people trying to like break it up.
But is that by yourself? If you like, I was just surprised at the audacity. They were really trying to jack him in front of all them people.
Well, I'm saying by himself, as there's 2 or 3 guys that was jumping on him, and there was nobody helping him. He was fighting them off by himself. So if you got the blicky on you and you're fighting by yourself, well, that's what's gonna balance it out. So I know when he walked, that's always the neutralizer. Like if they're trying to put hands on you and you walk, and they all run outside, now you walk outside, you don't know if there's them same 3 trying to get you again, because if they were bold enough to try to get you in front of all these people, who's to say when you go outside they're not going to try again? Or who's to say there's not more people outside waiting for you?
We watching the same video because I saw him. He was outside in like that parking structure where we were all them cars, right? And then he even kicked the security guard. The security like, dog, what you doing? I'm on your side.
The one on the floor?
On the floor.
Yeah.
He kicked him. And then AB left, went around the car.
Yeah, he went around the van.
Came
and then
back.
Walked out.
I mean, he probably went to go get that thing, I'm sure. Or
I think it was in his bag.
Okay, he went to go get that
bag.
And then in that time, I don't know this for a fact. I'm not a policeman, but is stand your ground when I walk to your ground, them kids, them other people were going that way. He walked behind them for, let's give it 20, 30, 50 feet. And then, like, my thing is, you're not in grave danger at that time?
What?
Or how long does it last in lapsing? Because the moment is over. The fight's over.
Right, and he had 2 security guards with him. I mean, right there, because one was on the ground and one was telling him, no, that's a security guard.
Yeah, that's security.
Don't kick him. So he could have gone the opposite way.
Yeah.
He went that way, the way everybody else went.
Well,
and then you hear
he chased the problem at a certain point.
Yeah. So I got to remember the video, but I don't remember. If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, I think when those guys were jumping them, I thought they ran outside. Like they ran.
They were all outside.
They were already outside the videos.
No, I'm saying in that, wherever they were at, in that thing, I thought they ran like this direction. When I saw him backing up going this way, he walked around the van, and then he also went that direction.
Yeah, he
so
did.
I'm saying, that's what I said, they might have been out there, because when he went that way, it's like, oh, maybe he saw them again.
Yeah, but you walked to go see them again because they were walking away from you. He could have just stood by that truck wherever he was with that girl and just been, they were walking that way. And then you went that way. And he went behind there, and then he came back with the thing if he didn't have it on him at that time.
But here's the thing.
That's a lot.
He's got to go out, because that looks like where it looks like that's the exit, like to get out.
You ain't got to go right
now.
now.
Yeah, but
you ain't got to go.
You know, adrenaline and all that. I mean, here's the thing: as right as wrong as you may think he is, when the cops came, they didn't charge him with anything.
No, he didn't get arrested.
So clearly, they felt that he was in the right doing what he did. Because if they felt like, hey, you shouldn't have shot that, or you broke some type of law doing that, he'd have been locked up.
Oh no, I'm with you.
They heard the situation, they saw what was going on, and they let him free.
Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to get a deeper understanding of, like, stand your ground means me and you squabble up, and then, all right, you leave the house, and I go upstairs, and then I come downstairs, and you gone, and I follow you outside, and then
go to your house.
And then you go to CHICK-FIL-A, and then I'm like, that's good.
But that's why I say I visualize that video differently, and there's nothing really conclusive there with how it ended, so it's all up for interpretation. So I looked at it like, those guys went out. He was walking around. He was leaving. And when he got out there, he saw them again. I don't think he was going there like to find them. I think they ran off. He's doing his thing. He's going outside. And, oh, there they are again. Oh, now I got it on me. Or he already had it on him. And now I'm shooting off in the air to back y'all off. Because I think where they were at was still kind of like inside when that fight was happening. It looked like they were inside.
It looked like a structure more.
So you're not gonna, if
outside.
you had it on you, you're not gonna shoot it off inside of there.
I don't think the way he fell on that ground and all that wrestling they were doing, I don't think he had it on him because it wouldn't have stayed on him.
He might not have.
That bag
He was in
carrying.
that bag.
He might not have. But I think once they outside, it's like, oh, y'all want to try this again? Well, now I got it on me, and then he shot. But again, this is all up for interpretation.
Welcome to Florida,
because
huh?
we don't know. Yeah, and then Florida, you can carry. Everybody can carry in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even need a permit or nothing, do you?
Nope.
Did you guys discuss that they all know each other?
Did they?
Yeah, I thought I read this morning that one of the guys had a feud with AB in Dubai in 2022. The third guy involved says that AB owes him 180 grand. So they're not just random people.
Oh, so that's why they were trying
Ding,
to
ding, ding. That's why, like, ain't nobody
The
jacking
robbery
no
thing is like,
star.
I'm trying to get your money. You owe me money.
I'm
But
trying to get
again,
my money back.
In public, no stars getting jacked like that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, only COVID when everybody was doing them watch grabs in Beverly Hills, but that was COVID. You didn't think the police were around.
They was hungry.
Yeah, you were hungry.
So there's more to this.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Ooh.
To it.
Gee, that's
These
new
aren't-
info.
uh-huh.
Can y'all walk with me here? This is why I don't like altercations. If I'm AB, I don't know if he's in his right mind or not right now, or how he's feeling. I know that potentially I owe somebody money. They so bold, and maybe rightfully so, that when they see me anywhere, because this is Aiden Ross's fighting boxing event, right? We getting our money back. And that time, they didn't get their money back. They didn't get no jewelry. And they got shot at. I don't know how y'all sleep. But let me just tell you, no sleep till Brooklyn. I'm never sleeping again. I'm thinking every moment of my life, here they come. Like, am I weird? How do you move on from that knowing job undone?
That man was hanging out right after that. Did you not see him? Like when he went over to Aiden Ross's place and he was all hanging out, dapping everybody up. It was like, oh, you back? You made? He was like, yeah, you know, I had to do what I had to do. He said the Liberty City came out of me. He don't care. He don't care.
He's
Like,
not a normal human being.
but I know people like him that would not care.
No, I know
Like,
people that love to smoke.
hey, I got to do
They
what I
breathe.
got to do.
Yeah.
And if y'all come here, I'm going to do it
He joked
again.
about it. He joked about shooting, saying, oh, it's my CT. I don't even remember. He's a different beast.
Okay, but now I'm in here with y'all.
He just hood. That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, I mean, I'm hood and not hood. Like, I'm from the hood, but no, sir.
Right,
I
but
like
that's
life.
the side of you that's not hood. That's thinking the way you thinking. There's plenty of people I know right now that go through that every day.
Okay.
Shoot at people, get into situations, go right in their house.
And why?
Knowing the ops know exactly where they live.
I don't want to be deep.
go to
I don't
sleep.
want to be deep because I like our other point. But let me say this. There are more of me in the hood than them.
Of course.
So why do they get to claim that they hood? I'm actually hood.
No, you are hood too.
No. I'm not talking about verses. I'm saying, why do they get the hood means ghetto or negative or violent or whatever we saying, don't give a damn. No, the hood actually, most of the neighborhood cares. It's just these two bad apples down the street, little man and Mac.
Just the Martin
What?
boys.
I think being hood and being from the hood is two different things. You
So that's how
from
you
the
act.
hood, but
Yeah.
you don't live a hood.
Go on and say it. I don't act hood. Go on and say it.
You don't live a hood. I mean,
AB don't live like in Liberty City no more either.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
But
But
he
he has
hood.
hood mentality.
Yeah.
He still lives off of a hood mentality. You don't live off of
But
hood
that's
mentality.
my point. All right, we're going to get deeper. Hood mentality has been labeled as what AB, like, I'm good. But really, the day-to-day act, that's why I loved Friday, the movie. That's why I love Boy in the Hood. Because they show, no, normally, it's normal.
Right.
It's just a here and there that it'll take it everywhere, right? So I'm like, why did they get to project to the world? The hood means, oh, man. When I'm like, no, the hood means, boy, if you don't hurry up and get home, like that's, you know how I go, because you're from the hood. So anyway, my greater point is, how would you be right now? Not like AB, how would Justin be? You be a little shook?
I'd probably be a little uneasy. I don't know if I'd be shook, but I'd definitely be on my P's and Q's.
What does that mean?
I
Getting shot from the
But I
behind?
function like that.
Oh, you don't want to get
Pause.
shot from the front? I'm going to get shot from behind? I hate when people say that. You're going to still get smoked.
But see-
he going to catch you.
Are you saying how would he feel if you were AB?
AB.
So
Dudes from Dubai is coming for you, and they ain't done because they ain't get it. Come on, man.
I don't want to make this a New York thing, but I have to say this, and even my wife is like,
Be real.
You different. I always
Your white wife?
right. Let's not put that narrative out there.
Not true. Soon as he be at school.
Although
with
I
her-
do call her that because she yellow. So I call
She
her.
yellow.
But she black.
Yeah, yellow.
She yellow, but she black. The
Oh, God.
I always function like somebody's out to get me. So literally every and I
To shoot you when you say to get.
in any capacity. Every
all of it.
yeah, it's all the same to
Get
me.
his ass.
Getting is getting you. Everywhere I go, when I walk out, I survey everywhere I'm at.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter where I'm at.
I do that.
When I walk out this house, it's a nice neighborhood. As soon as I open that gate, I'm like this.
You really worried about something happening when you walk out of this gate.
Anywhere I go, it's just my instinct because I grew up on trains at 12 years old in a city where anything can happen to you. When I'm walking home from school, anything can happen. So I'm always aware and alert of my surroundings. I could be sitting in Beverly Hills. I won't sit in a restaurant unless I'm facing the door.
Right.
Because I need to be able to watch everything that's happening at all times. Like I just always need to see what's going on. Something I could be talking to you right now, and it could be somebody in that back corner over there just staring at me, and you think I'm looking at you, but my peripheral is on them the whole time. Because as soon as they move, I'm like that, like I'm watching. So in that situation, yeah, I would be alert anyway, just because, especially if it goes that far, I'm just always. That's just always how I am.
When we were at the Korean barbecue restaurant, your back was to the door.
No, wait. Now I'm gonna correct you. There was another door right in front of us to the left. There's another door right in front of us to the
no one's
left.
coming in and out through that door.
That door was where the little patio areas.
Get him, Eugene.
I was watching the door. I was watching the door there too.
It don't matter how
I guess
many
you're not
times.
afraid of the Koreans.
It does not matter.
So
What movie did you see to make you do that? Because it don't matter. You're going to forget one time, or you're not, and someone's going to come through the door you're looking at.
You can always.
He going to be like,
no, you can always get got, but I at least try to be aware of what's going on. Nobody's perfect.
No,
You're not
I know.
gonna. You can't avoid every situation.
Once you see the end of Scarface, you realize be careful how much you try to protect yourself.
Yeah,
because you
somebody
ain't
want
gonna
to
never
get you,
fully.
they're gonna get you.
Yeah.
But I still am always just aware of what I. Like I know people who are oblivious to it. Like they were sitting somewhere, it could be things going on, they have no clue. Like it's just so that's always weird to me.
Yeah.
I'm looking, I'm like, you didn't see what was going on over there? And like, no.
How much prevention? Because I think that's like, if I had to pick, like, it's helpful or it's wasteful. I think it's wasteful because we're using up a lot of our mental hardware on nothing's gonna happen. Like you just went in there, hey, and your wife's like, sit down. He's like, no, that's your seat. All right, you know what I'm saying? I'll sit right here. Okay, who's that? Oh, look, like you just the spidey senses is they can get exhausting. They
I
can.
agree. It's a waste if you're consciously doing it. For me, it's not a conscious thing. It's subconscious. I've been trained to do that since I was a kid.
Well, get conscious again.
So I don't know how to not.
You got trained.
think like that.
Look, you used to eat boogers. Do you do them now?
I never ate buggers.
peed in the bed.
I left that to the pyro over here. I was never the booger eater.
Pyro bedwetter.
Pyro bedwetter.
You just had a mixture of everything over there.
I ain't stand a chance in life. A pyro bedwetter.
You lucky you kept growing, boy.
You lucky you was fast.
I'll mess around. I'll be working a 9 to 5. If I was a school teacher like I wanted to be, pyro booger eating way better.
I did get a crayon
man.
stuck up on my nose one time, and I thought I was about to die.
You did?
Because it was like up here, and I was like a little kid, and I just kept pushing it up, and then it like wouldn't like come out, and I was like, what is going? Like I started panicking. And then
God.
I forget what happened. I think the teacher might have said like sneeze or try to do something, and then I got it out. But I definitely in that split second was like, thought it was over.
You thought it messed up your
yourself a
booger canal. Huh? No more boogers, mama. I can't eat them. Only half as much. All right.
But to be fair, I think most New Yorkers are like that.
Huh? Seriously, huh?
Most New Yorkers, I think, are like that. Everybody
yeah.
I know is the same way.
Yeah.
Like we in a room and everybody's just like always on alert.
True New Yorkers, you guys have this wall.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah,
on alert.
yeah.
And that's also why when we were talking about earlier, it was like you walk up to people, you was like, "What's up?" When you're walking up, people are already on alert.
guard.
So when you walk up to me and say, "What's up?" I'm already in defense mode because I'm thinking that you're coming up to me to try to do something.
That's real.
So it's just an
Which
instinct.
is why in New York I do go up to people and say what's up. And
I
give
do
them-
like to
and
break
give
the
them
ice.
a big smile.
You can do that now because you look older, more distinguished.
I've always done it though.
Even when you're young, because
Yeah.
you look like you look friendly.
Just to disarm.
He looked
Yeah.
friendly.
You do. You look. You know when you get that gray beard, it make you look a little.
Hey,
a little more
he's a
wholesome.
smart player. He looks friendly.
It's a little more wholesome, man.
It's so crazy, man. All this stuff added up, man.
the
We
OG
all
love.
judging. We all judging, man. All right. What do y'all want to do? We got one more topic in us. We got Puffy. which is gonna go on forever. We got Tory Lanez. Where y'all want to go?
I can't really do Puffy.
You can't do Puffy? Puffy would do you. Let me start.
I'm like, you threw it. I'm like that. I was just waiting. Like I was trying to hold back from doing it myself.
Your call.
You left that up there.
I mean,
that was so easy.
Buddy. I mean, they put the escorts out, everything. We talk.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you
they
want
put
you?
pictures
We
of
do Tory Lanez since
Yeah,
you
because
can't.
my daughter was roommates at NYU with Puffy's daughter. They've been friends since they were 6th
Oh,
grade.
so you gonna protect her because she?
Yeah,
the
I just
plight of
wanna-
the
I'm gonna
the plight of the black celebrity.
recuse myself from that.
Damn, we finally hit your wall.
Oh,
I know that's what he said. That's what he said.
it's been a wild episode.
All right, let's go to Tory then, because it was next on the damn order of topics anyway. Tory Lanez, we all heard, 14 times stabbed, prison yard out here in California somewhere. After some new discovery and evidence about his case and bodyguard statements, and it wasn't Tory who pulled the trigger, etc. Things that potentially could exonerate him, but you got to survive it first.
Some bullshit. though.
Yeah. All right. Tell me what's up.
Come on now. They Tory Lanez is in prison because he didn't say I'm sorry to Megan Thee Stallion. He could have avoided all of this.
But would you say the sorry to something you didn't do?
She knows who shot her.
Does she? Because I remember in the beginning she said she didn't.
Yeah, because she was trying to protect him.
Yeah, but she.
And then he started saying stuff about her. And then she was
Well,
like, okay,
yes,
so now the
yes.
veil is up.
I agree
This
to that part
motherfucker
because she
shot me.
was quiet and it did look like she was trying to protect him.
Yeah.
If he did that, and then all of a sudden he got on there and started running on a rant, and then I feel like that fired her up.
That fired her up.
But she's also been caught in multiple lies, and there's a bunch of evidence from that never added up to him doing it.
No, there isn't a bunch of evidence.
There was no. He was. So okay.
There were only 3 or 4 people there.
And how come nobody was tested for gun residue except for him?
Well, I don't know. I can't
So
answer
right,
that.
but that's so when you. But
But-
legally,
but-
that's a defense.
He had no. It isn't. Did he have gun residue?
no.
No, you didn't.
That's see. So you're literally proving the point of
0.01%.
exactly.
She knows who shot her.
But you see how you just tried to jump off that.
What I'm saying is that she knows who shot her.
But she said in the beginning
she
did
tried to protect him. If he didn't do it, why wouldn't she say no? He didn't do it. There'd be no reason.
Well, she's not the one that's suing him. It's not Meg Thee Stallion versus Tory Lanez. You already acknowledged that she wasn't saying anything until he started talking about it. I'm talking about her.
I'm saying when the prosecutors are going after this case,
Yeah.
if the person who is harmed says no, that's not the person who did it, then the prosecutors move on to find out who did it.
That's not necessarily true because I think there's a lot of other factors that play into this. And also we talking about, you can't say when she says this, she's telling the truth, but when she says something else, we just brush over. For example, when they asked her if she was ever involved with him sexually, she said no.
She lied.
Then she got in court and she said she was. So in the beginning she said
Getting asked something under oath is
right,
different.
but in
than-
the beginning she
But
said
truth is truth.
right. In the beginning she said he didn't shoot me.
Yeah.
Then later on she said he did. My point is you can't take her word in some instances.
No.
Like her credibility is not there.
Oh, yeah.
There's several things in that case that don't add up. You can't say the guy shot her if there's no gun residue on him. And then there's 3 other people in his car, but nobody else was tested but him.
And one gets immunity immediately.
And one gets immunity.
And that's the one who.
Like that doesn't make sense.
And then with no gun residue, this is my like Matlock, and I usually nail these. I'm
new
pretty good.
Matlock or old Matlock?
Come on.
Matt. It's
All right,
only one
let's go even
Matlock.
better. All right, Barney Miller. Let's go. Let me stop.
Ironside.
Murder she wrote. Oh, she didn't get murdered.
Columbo.
They drunk. They hanging. You find out he messing with you and your bestie, whatever it might be. He was in the pool with Kylie Jenner. It could have went down. It could not. But the point is, this is when you got feelings involved and you see, I don't care who you are, you see somebody you used to mess with or still mess with, whatever it is, and they look like they about to move on in your face. That's a different thing versus they moved on and you don't see it. So then you leave, you come back, I got to get my slipper. No, you don't. You just got to go get him out the pool and say, come on, man. Y'all beef out. Remember, there's some liquor involved and maybe other things.
A lot of liquor.
A lot of liquor, right? And then one girl gets out and goes to the bus stop. He gets out, gets her back in the car. No, we're not doing that. And I'm sorry, all this stuff, whatever you may do. Then they get out again. It's a little tussle. The girls are going at it. And then a gun that is not his, bam. And the only reason he really in jail is two things. One, Megan let it be ambiguous. She took her hands off the steering wheel. She didn't say he did it at first. She was just like, and then that witness, somebody saw him do it, they thought. But in reality, it sounds like he just slapped the gun out the girl's hand,
right.
And that's how she got shot.
And her bodyguard, who now has come out and said it, his story corroborates with the other guy's story, because the guy said, I saw two women scuffling.
Yep.
I saw two guys come over, and then I saw I heard the shots go off. And the guy, the bodyguard, said the two of them were fighting. The girl, Kelsey, or I think that's her name, pulled the gun to try to shoot at her, and he went
and knocked it down.
And knocked it out of her hand.
That's how it went.
Which would explain why he doesn't have any gun residue on him.
Because he wasn't the one pulling the trigger.
That's
crazy.
If there's a gun that goes off, anybody who's around the scene of that crime who was involved with, they're gonna test everybody. Okay, why would he be the only one that got tested?
So okay, but you know this.
You're right.
This had to be presented to a jury of 12 people who had to be unanimous in their decision, and they found him guilty. So
it's not
you're
it's not that black and white, Richie.
Well, sure
you
it
know
is.
There's certain things that
what
happen
I'm saying
that they didn't allow to be put in the courtroom.
There's probably something that you aren't hearing and I'm not hearing, and some things that we don't know, because I'm sure he spent a grip on his defense. I'm sure he had the best lawyer he possibly could have had,
right?
And he still got found guilty.
Here's why I say it's not so black and white. You also know that his defense team tried to submit a bunch of evidence.
Well, that happens in every case.
Right, but it was crucial evidence that
it must
the
not
judge
have been that crucial.
No, it was.
I mean,
you're looking at it like a sport. Like, look, I know you tried hard, but you lost. And then he's looking at it like, well, they so many penalties in the fourth quarter. They was the Chiefs, and they kept giving you flags and. Like,
I mean, it may have been crucial to him, but the judge probably said, nope, that's not crucial.
The district attorney was also
the district attorney doesn't get to choose the evidence.
Yeah,
that
but
gets presented.
That's
the judge,
right? But there's a lot that was in play in that situation with the district attorney, who was also running for office again.
Gascon,
right? He was running for office again, and they feel, it's not me, I'm saying they feel he was doing certain things because he needed to.
It's a political favor.
So
Megan Thee Stallion.
Right. There was certain things.
If we protecting Angel Reese, we gon' protect Megan Thee Stallion.
Right.
Like, for real. Like, you can't talk bad about Angel Reese. Well, imagine Megan Thee Stallion gets shot and you the damn DA. Yeah. Oh, whoever did it is going to jail. Well, we don't know. Well, he is. Like, that's how it's
right now.
But in the end, the district attorney, the prosecutor, does not decide whether he's guilty.
No, I know.
But
he's like, we gonna prosecute this.
And I'm sure there were black people on the jury.
Oh, no, it's black people. All these people.
So they didn't believe it.
I'm going there.
So why is it that you believe it and they don't believe it?
Richie.
Okay, don't do that.
Yeah, because I'm about to say.
OJ.
Right. You know how many people are in jail or out of jail based on jurors?
So
you know how many people think opposite of the OJ ruling?
OJ is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Because all you have to do is get one person to have reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
None of those 12 had reasonable doubt.
Right, because
we don't know that for sure. Like, I've sat in a jury for a drug trial in Harlem.
Chill.
And
go ahead.
And there were some of us who doubted the evidence, but at the end of the day, after multiple sessions of like, all right, it wasn't unanimous, people start caving.
Right.
I cave.
I'm
the last one holding out. Everyone else wants to go home.
Yeah. All right. I'm leaning.
Like that.
Huh?
When somebody's life is on the line.
It wasn't life, though.
Right. Man, this dude, I mean, he's not going to make it out of jail. They're going to get him when he gets.
He might get out based on the evidence.
Yeah, the evidence. I mean, look, we already seen how many times you go back in time, DNA changes, exonerating people because of the technology or just because we didn't present everything and now we can, different decisions. So it could go both ways. Look, I wasn't there. I just know how things typically go. And if I were typically going to rule on this, I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, it wasn't even his gun. So if it's not your gun, how's it come out? And if it comes out, it's with what intention? Because they say don't pull it unless you're ready to use it. So somebody pulled out, or she did, her gun, and we're going to act like he the one that shot her. But he didn't even get the charge for that. He got the charge because he brandished a gun and his history and Canadian. Like, he got a charge that wasn't you shot Reagan
They couldn't prove that he actually did it based on the fact that there was no gun residue on him.
Right.
So they just threw a charge.
10 years.
Let me
They gave him the 3X.
I'm glad you
Okay,
just said that
yeah.
because I'm gonna take it there because I'm gonna kind of discredit something you just said. You said, "Oh, the district attorney, he has nothing to do with this, and he can't control this." You know what he did do? He added enhancements onto that charge.
Yep.
So that case really would have been like a 1 to 2 year charge.
1 to 3.
But he went and added enhancements on it that you only get in gang-related charges. So like, there's gang members who have shot at people in public and didn't even get those enhancements. So the DA, why would you put enhancements on somebody who has no criminal history? He's not a felon. You have inconclusive evidence. Why would you put in enhancements that would take his charge from 1 year to 10 years on something like that?
Yeah.
There's clearly an agenda there. He was using that to propel himself in a political way. It didn't work because he still lost. But there's enough evidence there that backs up that something went wrong here. You can't say I brandished a gun, but then there's no, like, my fingerprints or nothing is not even on the gun.
This doesn't sound right to me.
That's why they trying to get it dismissed.
My old man sat on criminal court for a majority of his judge career. I've sat in that courtroom a million times. Some of our best friends were defense attorneys. They would, if that is the case, they would have eaten that shit alive. There is no way with his resources, with the money probably dedicated. I'm sure he spent.
He ain't got Rock Nation.
Yeah, he got a good team,
I
but
bet
he
he
ain't.
paid a 7. You'll pay.
Oh,
anything.
no, he gonna pay. You'll pay
anything when it's
No, you pay what you can.
right. Exactly.
What you can ain't always.
Yeah,
Get the
Well,
best.
but they colored it with circumstantial
they'll-
evidence. So look, when
they'll
you don't
take your house. I mean, I knew Johnny Cochran had Todd Bridges' crib.
Yeah.
To defend him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So whatever it is you got, they'll take as payment.
Oh no, I get that. I think that to answer you, why is he in jail? Is because the charge wasn't just did you shoot Megan Thee Stallion? It wasn't that. It was the brandishing of the weapon charge, whatever. But more than that, they were able to color him in the context of being, oh, look at this rapper guy who was, messing with both women, and all of a sudden just like, they were able to do that to whatever level that mattered to this jury. And then when Megan got sympathetic about like, oh, and he did it, and protect my girl, and she got immunity, so I'm protecting somebody who can't be in trouble. Like, what can you say? And you got a witness over there saying, yeah, I did see him right there.
And he didn't get on the stand himself.
And and so I just think the dominoes kept falling the wrong way for him. But
why Richie, with your background and this new evidence coming up with the bodyguard, why, what's
where the reluctance coming from, Rich?
I don't think.
Why can't it go back to jury? Why
Because
can't it go back to court?
his side is saying they have new evidence doesn't mean that they actually do.
Well, the bodyguard came out. And
No,
said
they got that.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he's credible.
You can't do a retrial. You can't take it back to court.
If there was something that, well, you just can't. It doesn't feel. None of that feels right. Just because some guy is saying I saw it differently.
But it's not
I'm
some
sure,
guy.
I'm
He's
not
a witness.
it's a
He's
lot
the guy
different.
that.
You don't think he was interviewed
No, he
100
wasn't.
times?
He never
wasn't.
got interviewed.
I think he even had an NDA.
Yeah, they were saying he thought he
It
had
expired.
an
He
NDA,
thought he
so
had
when
NDA.
they tried to interview him, he never got interviewed. He never
And
got
then he
interviewed.
said his conscience was eating him up, and he was like, I ain't got no
So
NDA.
he now has come out, but he never got interviewed. So we
he
can't.
could be subpoenaed. If they subpoena him, he has to.
They
interview.
didn't. Yeah. Look,
That's
They
not.
you are
that's-
going against this man's childhood. He sat in that courtroom, listening to everything, buying into the law.
You will fight for your life.
Oh, he fought.
But
He
you
lost.
also made a statement that would suggest that if you get convicted or get found guilty, that means you did it. There's a bunch of people in jail
ton.
who are innocent.
Innocence Project.
And the jury said they were guilty. We can't just act like that doesn't happen.
No, what I'm saying is that if it's as simple as him not having gunshot residue, that would have been brought out in court.
I forget all the
because
details.
it's not simple that he didn't. That weapon wasn't in his possession.
I'm saying we don't know everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And that there's no way that it is that simple. It just that doesn't make sense. Occam's razor. The most simple answer is typically the right answer, and this doesn't make sense.
There's a group of people that defended him is called Unite the People. Like it's this organization that come out. They did like a 30-minute press conference. You should watch it because they literally broke down everything that has come out and things that were falsely or incorrectly done during that case. And they're now highlighting all of it. I guarantee if you watch that video, everything you're saying right now, you're going to come back and be like.
And you're going to have time to do that because this show is over. That'll do it for
Yeah, I didn't mean that today.
It's pickleball time. God dang it, got on my shirt.
In the next episode, I'm going to say, did you watch that?
Yeah. We're going to see. All right. Thank y'all for showing up for us. Episode 30 on the rocks in the books. Peace.
Right. I'm glad he said that. No one chooses football. Football chooses you. It's so crazy people still stuck in put Mahomes in the offense. I'm like, do you see these numbers?
This is Marcellus Wiley on the rocks.